You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another edition of Spaceboy Universe. I am Spaceboy, and across from me is the lovely Surlana. It is March 3rd, 2018. Sorry there, I had a brain fart. As always, you can follow us on Twitter. That's at the SB Universe. Follow Surlana at Surlana. Follow me, Spaceboy. That's at Spaceboy Music. Of course, follow the network that brings you all this fine programming. That's at the SB Network. As always, you can hashtag your tweets at hashtag SB Universe and hashtag Space Cadets. Say, want to hang out with said Space Cadets? You can do so by going to spaceboyuniverse.com. Click the dancing chat bubble, and that will get you in with all the cool kids. In addition to Twitter, you can find the universe on Facebook, Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Just look for Spaceboy Universe. Speaking of YouTube, you know you can find more than the Spaceboy Universe archive of shows. That's right. You can find video content from Spaceboy Music, video interviews, 2-bit gamers, and so much more. Keep tuned because there are things coming down the pipe, Space Cadets. And if you can't catch the show live, no problemo. There's many places that you can check out the old broadcast and take SBU on to go with you. Spreaker, SoundCloud, and iTunes, and one more that I will be talking about very shortly. And on that magical note, because we like to broadcast, how are you, Surlana? Yes, I will talk for Surlana. I'm doing good. Right now, I'm stuffing myself from some old Chinese food that I had 3 weeks ago in the refrigerator. And that's my invitation of Surlana tonight because I can't do a better one right now.
I'm going to slap the living crap out of you.
Hey, you know, I'm keeping my papaya.
Yeah.
All
right.
You'll have to check Facebook for that one.
Bev is here, and she says she's getting better every day, and we want to say we're so happy to see you. We're so happy you're all right. Mm-hmm. And thank goodness we have you.
Yes. Well, and Surlana, you shouldn't say it just like that. I mean, think of all the other Space Cadets that come here weekly, monthly, or maybe even yearly.
Well, they don't call in enough.
That is true. I mean, how long has it been since we've had a 4-hour conversation with Dino on the phone?
Or Ty.
Or Ty. Yeah, it's like, well, Ty's just being polite. You know how Canadians are.
See, I hadn't talked to him so long I couldn't remember his name.
That's terrible, Ty, when she forgets you. But I don't forget you.
I'm sorry, but this beef fried rice is excellent.
Anyway, so I was just going to say that, yeah, I don't forget the Space Cadets. You know, everyone from Yeg, Dino, K28,
yes,
Catalina,
Mr.
Beverly,
Perfect.
Bob. I mean, these are a fine group of individuals. Our I guess our multimedia guy that does behind the scenes, Dennis. You know, it's just a great group of people.
I
you know,
assume Dennis still likes us.
Occasionally we see Alan pop in there every once in a while. while, and it just it warms my heart to see these regulars, and I just wanted to give a shout out to each one of you. So, Miss Michelle usually shows up. Jean Viteau will pop in occasionally, depending on the show. That's okay. It's not like we have cheeseburgers for everyone every night. Sometimes we have to eat our vegetables, and tonight is one of those vegetables. And
that's what I'm doing. I have beef fried rice. It's got little strips of beef and egg rice, but it has peas and carrots, and I'm carefully working around the peas and carrots because I hate them.
I love me some peas and carrots.
Well, when I'm done, you're going to get the rest of it.
No, I've got, to my audience, they can't really see this, but I guess I'll take a picture for Twitter.
I got you a treat at the store.
Yeah, you did. You got me a treat at the store.
Because you've been a good boy.
All righty. Anyway, so yeah, she did break down, and what was funny was the story goes like this. We didn't do our normal shopping on a Sunday, and so Surlana had to go get groceries, I guess, like on a Monday.
Monday after work, and that sucks.
And even though
myself.
Even though I gave her a full list of things to get, she didn't get everything. And you're going to go, I can't believe she forgot that.
No, it's because I have anxiety.
I told her to get bacon. And she didn't even bring me bacon home.
We had a knockdown, drag-out phone discussion about, some couples fight about finances and whether they're cheating on you. We had a argument about whether or not he can go 24 hours without bacon. I'm like, it's not that vital to your existence. You can wait for me to go back. And you're like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you're like, so diva precious.
Bite your lip, woman. Bacon is one of the most important food groups out of the pyramid.
People, it's microwavable bacon. Now,
So
at least you could get some real damn
bacon.
bacon.
It is still bacon. I made you a bacon bagel the other day. Was it delicious or not?
It was all right. I could live without it.
Yeah, see, you say that because whenever I'm trying to be nice to you, it's like, oh, whatever, It's almost like the thing the other day I was talking about.
Well, I'm trying not to depend on you.
Have you seen this on Facebook? Oh, I already saw it. It's like trying to start up a conversation with you.
I did see it already.
We even talked about the passing of our pets, and and one thing I said I wasn't looking forward to is, at least we have the cat. I'll have somebody to talk to because once the cat goes away, you're just all I could expect is nothing out of you, kind of like right now.
Sorry,
you couldn't wait for a break on that.
Oh, so good.
You're over there like Miss Pac-Man trying to avoid ghosts and eating power pellets over there.
You're
right
the
now.
one that said, I got all this stuff to talk about tonight. Tonight's going to be me talking. It's going to be my show. I'm go for it.
9:30 isn't here yet. That's discussion later. But what we normally do during this time is...
You want me to talk about some things?
Yeah, why don't you pick up some things and talk about...
Well, the first thing, I don't know...
While that's happening, I'm going to send on the Twitterverse here a picture of the wonderful snack that you actually broke down and get...
No.
Hold on.
No.
I had to send you back to get them. That's how bad it was.
It was my fault, though.
And you took a picture. You texted me.
This is because while I'm still in the store and I'm about ready to get checked out for groceries, I said, hey, you know what I saw? Over in the freezer section is Pillsbury makes frozen churros that you put in the oven. And you're like, did you get them? Like, no, I didn't think about it. I just said, oh, that's interesting. And I took a picture and sent it to you. And you're like, well, how don't you get... I'm like, so I had to walk all the way back across the whole flipping store to get these mini churros for you. And you're like, they're okay. So,
well, you do the same thing, just like you said earlier. Like when I brought you the breakfast sandwich, it was okay. Regardless,
I gave you my critique on it.
Regardless of you getting up early and cooking me a little breakfast and bringing it to me in bed.
That is so sexist. I don't even know where to start.
No, it was being nice. It had nothing to do with being sexist. Put your feminist ways behind in a box and take it back for store credit.
I know
right now.
something you can put in a box right now.
But anyway, so do you have something wonderful and to talk about?
Well, I don't understand this one.
Okay, I'm listening.
Apparently, Best Buy had mobile stores.
They did?
Yeah. See, okay, I didn't know this. All right.
Has it gotten that bad that they're like selling stuff out of a van?
No, selling mobile phones.
Oh, I see.
That's what I said. So, mobile phones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it says here that Best Buy is closing all 250 of its mobile stores in the U.S. I don't think we have those here, or if we do, they're in some obscure parts of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So, by May 31st, they're all going to get shut down. But it's almost less than 2% of their revenue anyway. This isn't going to affect the mobile sales in their big box stores, which I still don't understand why Best Buy even exists anyway. Because, you know what I've heard? The nickname for Best Buy is the Amazon showcase floor.
It is. I mean, when have you not, like, well, I'd really like to see this product in person, so where can I go? Well, Best Buy.
And then you're just standing there, and then you get on your phone and you look it up on Amazon, and you buy it.
You use the Amazon app, check to see if the price is on Amazon, and it compares. I mean, I don't know if Best Buy does it. I think they do, where they match internet prices, which it's crazy for them not to, because, you know, of the way things are now, where we could go in, take a price. We do it at Walmart, too. Like, I'm going to end up having to buy a toner cartridge for our printer on Amazon because it was at least $10 cheaper. And, you know, I'm no...
but the nice thing is, they are going to redeploy the employees that work in these little mobile to other parts of the company.
We're redeploying them to Siberia.
So, if those that leave will get good severance packages, they say. And they will even help them with job searches. That's kind of nice of them.
Well, you know, this kind of leads into the conversation we were having earlier today when I was, you know, I guess going across the interwebs, and I came across big box stores that are heading down the toilet. You know, one of which it's like we came across was Kmart. And
it's been dying for years.
I've compared that to a bug that just can't be killed. You know, Kmart has been out there forever and still kind of...
Why won't it just die?
And then I think there was some point where, you know, they were going to file some kind of bankruptcy or something, and don't get me wrong on it, and they ended up... in order to... Well, that's what I was going to say. They merged with Sears, and then JCPenney's has tried to attempt to reinvent itself, but it's just not working.
Penny's has just not got it down.
Let's see, what else was it? You know, a lot of these stores just couldn't change with the times, and which leads... I
know what Penny's problem is.
Well, do tell.
They're online. They're online, because I've tried to go there many times to buy things, mostly clothes. And they charge so much for tax. They charge so much for shipping and handling. They will not, you know, you could do the ship to store and avoid the S&H charges, but they won't ship to Memorial City Mall. They won't ship anywhere within 25 miles of where we live. So screw them.
Okay, that's putting it bluntly, but here, I need to do this for you because, you know, you got your goat on.
Do you have something? Do you have a sound effect of panties getting in a wad? Because that's more my deal.
Well, it's the one where you're trying to take them out. So, you know, rock, rock. Hey, it's 10:05 in the morning show, and I'm Jack, and here's Diane, and so here comes.
That's more of a bra removal sound, isn't it?
I guess it depends, you know. So I'll have to search the webs for panties in the wad dislocation device. So, you know, but...
Yeah, Google search that one. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, so I'll report back to the Space Cadets on that one. But the thing is that these box stores have really, like I said, have not, you know, changed with the times, if you will.
I think it's the...
Even Target is having problems. I think that I was reading something...
They just step up their
especially I was watching something in Target in Canada, and I know our Canadians out there can tell us more about that, but how they weren't doing so good up in Canada and lost a lot of money and had to shut some stores down. So, but the thing is that, you know, how can you compete with Amazon in the sense that, you know, you got the Amazon Prime, you can get it pretty much shipped within a couple of days, just be a little patient. Sometimes you can get it that day with Amazon Prime now. You know,
if you live somewhere where they're doing that. We have used that twice, and it's freaking awesome. Yeah,
so, you know, it is what it is, and so, you know, it goes to show that, you know, when you're the biggest thing out on the market, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to continue on. Example, Walmart. Walmart has failed to develop with the times. And
well, they're trying.
And well...
Online. Their online game, they're stepping it up.
It's
with ship to store, site to store.
Yeah, some things, but
curbside.
Those things they could have been a leader in, and I've often told you that their problem was that after Sam Walton passed away, the company kind of went from a more
their ideals.
one-on-one and family-orientated. I know. I made you mad there. I did it on purpose. So to a
Just so
more
you know, orientated is not a real word.
to an evil corporation kind of thing, So, and let me just say that I'm not calling them evil. I'm just referring to them as an example.
They've lost the heart.
They've lost the heart, is what I'm saying, exactly. And then so go positive. When I was looking through this article about all these organizations, these big boxes going down, Sam's Club of all things is not doing too good, and they're going to close those things down.
We went to Sam's Club before it was called Sam's Club. I think it was called something else.
Actually, it Buds.
Yeah, it's called something else, but
because Sam had his brother was named. His name was Bud.
When I was young, and it was me, my mom, and dad. We went there. I mean, we would spend hours in there, and we would actually buy in bulk in it because there was 3 of us. It worked.
I actually worked at a Sam's Club in
did.
in the pizza department.
Good times, huh?
Yeah, good times. Lots of.
You did like it though, didn't you?
Yeah, it was nice. I enjoyed it. It was just nice work. You go in, make some pizzas, sell some, and then leave for the day.
Didn't you say they used to let you make up your own?
Oh,
toppings
I would do commercials in the club, and I even had one of the ladies
in the club.
Yeah,
Woo-hoo.
and had her translate what I would say into Spanish, and I had this big old thing in Spanish. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Bienvenidos estimados de Sam's Club members. And, I went through this whole thing of reading this script, and it was quite a thing. And I'm
sure that was hysterical for the Spanish-speaking people.
Yeah, well, I tried to do it with the, you're tuned into Telemundo. And,
well, so speaking of those stores dying, of course, Amazon continues to dominate, and the latest Amazon domination news, and I'm not sure what I think about this. It's kind of weird. Amazon is taking photos of your front door to show when packages have been delivered. They have been quietly rolling out this new feature, this new program for the past few months where the people that deliver your Amazon packages will snap a photo to confirm your package has been delivered. And so it shows you exactly where they placed it, including the delivery notice, so Amazon users know when it arrived and where it is. Sometimes they can get misplaced or stolen, and the refund policy means customers can request a duplicate of the original order. Now, this logistics photo on delivery program can check if drivers successfully delivered the package, and customers would know where to find it. So if they take a picture of it and that's not your door, you'll know. So,
well, I've seen some problems with that.
It's been going on for 6 months, and the logistics drivers can take the picture, and it's been in Oregon, Las Vegas, Indianapolis, Seattle, San Francisco, and Northern Virginia so far. Now, you can opt out of the photo thing for your privacy. Like, don't take delivery photos. You just go to your orders section and find that setting, turn it off. So, I don't know what to think of that. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
Well, Google already does a picture of the neighborhood anyway, so even though it might be a year behind or whatever, you still can go to Google and find an estimation of what something might look like at any given time. So, and as far as this thing, sure, it shows it delivered to your door and they take a picture. But we've seen videos where people have stolen packages, and so
somebody can come behind. They send the photo, and then 5 minutes later, someone steals your package. I mean, that's not Amazon's fault, but
well, it's not our fault either. So.
But anyway, so they're continuing to get on the cutting edge of things. So I don't know if this is also part of what box stores are missing, who do have the online presence and all that, like Target, Walmart, Sears, Kmart. If you get on Kmart's website and you try to find the nearest Kmart to Houston, it's back in Bossier City, which is across the river from my hometown in Louisiana, northwest Louisiana. That's almost 300 miles away.
Speaking of Louisiana, I'm actually looking forward to April.
Mudbug Madness.
Yes, I cannot wait.
It's more May, but
yeah. Well, I always
it starts in April.
It's in full swing in April, because I like it. March is barbecue month because the Texas Houston Rodeo is going on right now. I know. Save your thoughts over there, Surlana. I know how much of a big old cowgirl you are over there going to the rodeo. And,
I've never been.
And your love of country music. And, Hank Williams Jr. is looking down on you from heaven right now.
That sounds like pure torture.
Anyway, the thing is, you get some great tasting barbecue in March. And then April, you have the mud bug, a.k.a. Crawfish. And so I look forward to that. Usually I have to go to the store, get me a pair of rubber gloves. Because you don't want to eat
spicy.
No, it's not the spice thing.
And the smell.
It's the smell. There's nothing worse to getting into the mud bug, and then you get all that fishy smell all over yourself, and you can't deal with the smell. So,
Well, being from Louisiana, you think I'd be all over it, but I can't deal with a food that still has a face. I can't do that.
Well, that's a shame because it is a delicious treat. A little butter on that.
My dad says, and you can confirm this, right? They're little critters, mud bugs. They're little, and the part that you really want to eat is minuscule with the meat.
It's
right?
mini. It's like a mini lobster.
It's tiny, tiny, tiny. So you have to get like an empty box full of them. Right? Like they pull them up and they just throw them in a big box.
Okay, first off, they bring you a box of it, and they bring you some potatoes, like red potatoes.
That's probably been boiling with them.
And boil exactly
the holy triumvirate
and corn, and then corn on the cob,
corn, potatoes,
and sausage.
And sausage. That's the holy triumvirate.
Oh, it's so delicious.
And they bring it to you, and Dad says you never get full; you just get tired because you have to work to get.
It's a work thing, but I think that it's the best satisfying work detail that you can do. All I say is make sure you. Okay, Surlana.
That's what you do,
this
right?
This is a family show, Surlana.
That's what you do for the crawfish.
Stop fracking around right now. There's no, it's a family show.
Okay, you want me to get on to the next thing?
Sure, why not?
Well, the continuing saga of Logan Paul.
Oh.
Well, YouTube has restored ads on his channel, but he is on probation. So he had been suspended from making revenue on ads on his videos on his YouTube channel. He's got 16 million subscribers, and he went on a self-imposed hiatus over his Suicide Forest video. As we all know, that just... what was this idiot thinking? So he's been put on suspension. He's been ineligible for preferred partner advertising on his YouTube videos. And they suspended his ads on February 8th. So it's pretty good because they did his recent pattern behavior includes tasing a dead rat, taking a live fish out of his pond to perform CPR, and filmed a citizen's arrest of intruder at his home, which just sounds like a big bag of crazy, like certifiable, take him away in a paddy wagon crazy. That's just my opinion, though, okay? So that did cut into his income stream, and experts say it could have been like $1 million a month he lost. Like, oh, boo-hoo. Yet he does have merchandise, a line of loungewear, and I think that is where people like PewDiePie are making their money, is selling merchandise off of Scandal.
But does it do this?
Can he do this? He's still got consequences to deal with. He's not going to be the first person advertisers are going to go to put ads on videos. He's still active. He's not down. He's not out. But here's the thing. Because of what happened in 2017 and now with Logan Paul, this is creating a crackdown on content. And I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that.
Well, I was going to save that for a little bit later because...
Okay. We'll get back to that in a minute.
But it is an important discussion that I want to have because of the way YouTube is behaving, and
it's kind of like what's going on in another news story.
So what else, babe?
One more thing for you. I had mentioned this in a previous show, and it was kind of tucked into with other things, but it was also about YouTube. So this thing about YouTube and them cutting revenue and then having to go through this whole review process, and then now you can't make money on there as a content creator. So what's the alternative? Well, it might be this browser called Brave. It could be a YouTuber's favorite browser, and they say, okay, it's a scary time if you're a content creator on YouTube because the community guidelines are changing seemingly, overnight. Demonetization is affecting large numbers of content creators, people with channels who are monetized and had ads running on their videos. So they don't really want to leave YouTube because there's nothing else like it. But here comes this web browser called Brave, and it's an open source web browser. It was created by Brian Bodie. He's the co-founder, and the Mozilla co-founder, Brendan Ike. And it's based off the source code Chromium. So it's different from Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari in that it was built to block intrusive ads and create a less chaotic online experience. Now, so if you block all the ads, who's getting money? Well, this browser has got something installed in it called Brave Payments. They introduced this in September 2016. So it's a payment tool that lets the users decide what should be allowed, or they choose who can financially benefit from their clicks without having to sift through ads they don't want to see or feel guilty about using ad blockers. I never feel guilty about using my ad blocker. So if you use their payments, you can set up a wallet and you fill it with tokens, and you can support the sites and creators you want to directly. It's all automatic once you enable it. The UI lets you control which sites receive your support by manually enabling or disabling funding for any of the sites you visit. So it's a way to pay back directly to the content creators you enjoy most. So YouTube viewers can distribute contributions based on the time they spend viewing it or by pinning a set amount to a particular channel. So the YouTube creators no longer needs to create based on these vague rules that YouTube puts out there, mercurial algorithms, as they put it. Mm-hmm. We as the users or viewers can decide who gets our time, attention, and our money. The compensation. So, for creators who have under 10,000 lifetime views and they're not eligible for ad revenue, well, you don't have to worry about that apparently over on the Brave browser. Mm-hmm. So 6,000 YouTube creators are now registered to receive tokens over on the Brave web browser. So it's another way to monetize your content and gives the power to the user. So it's really kind of interesting.
So it's a browser.
It's a browser. It's a web browser.
So it would be like installing another browser beyond what we're using. Yeah,
but you pick who's going to benefit from your views and your clicks.
Excuse me.
So, there's a huge article on this. I don't want to go into it, but it seems like the hot new monetization tool for content creators, YouTubers. So there's advantages like direct payments for the fans and the creators, but there's also, because it's using cryptocurrency, that could keep people away, because for those of us who don't understand that, or what's the best one to use. And,
we're pretty knowledgeable on that, and I'm not too afraid of it. In fact,
it's just expensive to buy. That's a problem.
Well, for what you're buying, we're already kind of late to the game, but the security factor is definitely worth it. So, but that is what it is. So, Surlana, it looks like we're getting close to the bottom of the hour here to take our break. Let's see here. What was I going to say? Actually, I'm going to just go ahead and go into the break, and
sure, why not?
And so we can get on with our show. And I just want to thank all the Space Cadets for hanging out with us tonight. It should be for an interesting evening, and I don't know what Surlana. Can't you just wait until I play music and then you can tell me? Okay. All right. On that magical note, you're hanging out with Spaceboy and Surlana on Spaceboy Universe. We'll be right back.
are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Greetings, Space Cadets! Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlanus Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right. Hey, it's your illustrious commander, and I have some good news for those who aren't in the chat room that Surlana has kind of told you already. The big announcement at the beginning of the show was, you could take SBU on the go in many places. And man, am I finally glad to announce this. We are now on iHeartRadio. That's right, Space Cadets. The SBU is on the go via iHeartRadio. Just look for Spaceboy Universe, and you'll start to see the shows there. In fact, there's already an archive of shows right there right now. I want to thank iHeartRadio for working with me for the past week and a half to make this happen. Apparently, there was a glitch in the Matrix, and they rectified the glitch. And so we're so happy to be a part of the iHeartRadio family, and it's just one more way you could take SBU on the go with you. So if you have the app, great.
Sorry.
You can even go to your computer and play it on your computer, iHeartRadio.com or I think it's iHeart.com. iHeartRadio. Anyway, I'm sure Surlana Surlana's going to correct me here because she loves to correct me on things. So yeah,
iHeart.com. You got it right.
iHeart.com.
Look for
Spaceboy Universe.
Spaceboy Universe.
Yeah,
okay,
Spaceboy Universe. And remember, we're often imitated but never duplicated. So, all right. So if you've probably seen the title of the show today, it's called Being Different. And, for many of y'all, it's been a great listen to when you come to Spaceboy Universe because, one thing, we don't really talk politics here. We don't really try to get into the minutia of the topic of the day that's, bugging everybody. But, I wanted to take an exception to what's been going on lately because it usually ties into, why I run the show the way I do. And I'm talking about the shooting in Florida. And I'm not here to debate the laws and the nuances of gun ownership and banning ARs and, butt stocks and all that other stuff, and that's not what I'm here to talk about. I want to talk about the mentality of kids these days that would bring them to do such a tragic event. And it's sad that we see this happen over and over again. In my lifetime, I've had to overcome a lot of adversity. I've been bullied in my life, and I'm going to tell you a little story about one of those times I was bullied. And it's important because I've seen it, like I said, many times happen over and over again. Also, how it ties into social acceptance. Many times in high school, I saw people that were kind of social outcast, and the groups and cliques that many of us had fallen into when we were in school, whether we were jocks, whether we were in band, or whether we were in drama class. It makes no difference. We had our own little groups, and we stayed within them, our cliques. There was always that one person that seemed to be outside the normal. Outside because they were either being different, or maybe there was more there that we didn't know that was going on behind the scenes. Maybe that person needed to be reached out, to talk to listen to what they had to say so that they can speak and get things off their mind. Now, I talk about being bullied, and I travel back in time to when I was in middle school. Up to that point, I was living with my grandparents, and I think I was kind of in a sheltered life. And everybody knows I'm pretty much a different person altogether as an adult, but I pretty much led a different life as a kid as well. Unique, kind of an outsider. I didn't want to be a part of cliques because I felt that was boring to me. I wanted to be my own individual. I didn't want to be a lemming walking over a cliff, and like these cliques were. But, as I said, I was living with my grandparents, and my mom remarried and brought me back home to live with her because I guess she wanted to have some kind of family. So that summer, I spent getting to know my surroundings, where I'm living, new people, new things, new concepts, and came across a few kids in my neighborhood about my age that were going to be in my class. And it was a great summer. In fact, I kind of think back during that time with those guys as like hanging out with the Goonies or hanging out with even the Stranger Kids, on Showtime, or not Showtime, on Netflix. We had good times. We did things together. We camped out. We just hung out. Well, as school approached, I wanted to know more about how the school, tell me more about it, the people and stuff. They said, yeah, it's okay. But I could tell there was some hesitation in their voices. Eventually they said, the problem we have is when we ride the bus, we're constantly picked on by the high school kids. And I kind of like, okay, picked on in what way, and they would tell me how the kids would slap them in the head or, get very violent with them, Surlana. And I was like, really? And nobody does anything? And they kind of just...
Were they male?
Male? We were, all male.
Well, no, the bullies.
The bullies, yes. Mm-hmm. And the way this bus was set up, it was like they picked up the elementary kids, middle school kids, and then the high school kids. But they would go pick up the elementary kids, then the high school kids, and then we were last on the bus. So there's this narrow window of nobody wanted to sit anywhere close to where all the high school kids were. And they're all, like I said, all guys. And they were very antagonizing. And I didn't really experience that until I got on the bus. The first couple of days, let me backtrack. I always got a ride from my stepfather. Well, he worked in construction and eventually said, hey, look, I'm not going to be able to take you because I'm going to have to go earlier to work. And so you're going to have to take the bus home because I won't be able to pick you up. So... took the bus. First couple of rides were, all right. But there was this third ride where I saw one of the kids I was hanging out during the summer with. And I'll call him Billy. Well, Billy, unfortunately, did not get a seat in time and had to sit closer to the high school kids. And they really smacked him around and left a mark on him. And I was like, wow. And I said, Billy, well, why don't you tell the bus driver what's going on? And he said, they're not going to do anything, Jimmy. And, that's what they used to call me in high school. They're just going to turn a blind eye and nobody's going to help us in this. And so as it continued on, finally I was forced in the uncomfortable situation where I had to sit close to these guys. And, I didn't get smacked around at that point, but they were throwing stuff at me. Threw pencils at me, just trying to get a rise out of me. But, I just kind of just dealt with it and moved on. So eventually what happened was that I turned to Billy and Albert, who was the other gentleman that we hung out at during the summer. I said, hey, we don't live that far from school. Why don't we just walk home and don't deal with this? We don't have to be forced to deal with this stuff. So they took me up on my offer and we all walked home. We knew the route. I mean, many times during that summer, we would explore and knew how to get back and forth from the middle school. And so one day on our way home, the bus passed us up as we were halfway back home. And we could hear the high school kids yelling at the bus driver to tell him to stop the bus. So what happened is the bus stopped, and I turned to the other guys and I said, we need to get out of here because this is not going to be good. And so we darted into the forested area and tried to make our way home that way. Well, we got pretty far before they got off the bus and kind of managed to disappear. But one of them did catch up to Billy and beat him up pretty badly. His right arm was pretty bruised up and swollen the next day, and he was kind of in a makeshift sling. Sling, thank you. So that continued on for the rest of the year, and it was very frustrating because I told my mom and my stepfather, and they didn't really do anything. And it's not that I'm angry at them. And I tried to yell out for help to the the school board and all that, and they turned a blind eye, and so nobody listened to my cries for help, no matter where I turned. Wasn't going to go to the bus driver because I felt like he was a part of this, and I think he was complicit in all this that happened to these poor kids that were not high school kids. Needless to say, one day, the Albert and Billy were not on the bus for some strange reason, and I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get my mind around it. But yeah, that day I walked home by myself. Once again, a couple of them got off the bus, but I managed to run into that forest and hide, and they couldn't find me, and made my way home late that day. Of course, toward the end of the school year, I did get off the bus with Albert and Billy, and we kind of got off early, and the kids came after us too again. Unfortunately, that day, I did not get away from a couple of them. They beat me up pretty badly, and I laid there on the ground crying. Couldn't understand why they were being such thugs and mean, and why they were, just singling me out, or even my friends for that matter. Eventually, they left me there as I laid in the meadow crying and, wondering, why is this happening to me? I didn't understand. I mean, I was just never the kind of person that wanted to be in that situation. So, fortunately for me, as summer approached, my mother said that we were going to move, and so I was able to get out of that environment, and then that next year I started high school. That time in my life changed a lot because I was able to reinvent myself and be a part of a clique of people that were in that same position. In theater arts, I had many friends, and I respected those friends because those friends ended up being gay, bisexual, and treated me in a sense and understood my plight that I had gone through just a year before. And I respected them because all they wanted to do is live their life and love whoever they wanted to, and I could respect that. So, as I turn back time, I think about the different people I've met in high school, and I came across many who were in the corner, not a part of the group. I met one individual who was beaten up by his father, and his mother had passed away. Excuse me, I'm a little choked up about it. And I understood, and he appreciated the fact that I came forward and talked to him and gave him a chance to get what was going in his mind out and to be able to talk to somebody. So I'm reminded of, like I said, that kid who, if he had kept that bottled in, where would he have been? I often wonder to this day where he is and how he's grown up and the life changes that could be and could not be. And, it's unfortunate as I'm looking back in time that there weren't more people to give somebody like that a chance to talk instead of putting them into a corner like an animal waiting to strike back. So I guess what I'm saying in this point is that, as we go through life, we need to put the damn phone down. We need to look around us and see the people around us, see those people that are in need of maybe a conversation that needs to be had, instead of hiding behind social constructs that hold us back as humans.
Now? Okay. I don't know if this is just because girls are different. I'm sure. Now, when I got to high school, I saw fights between girls that were physical. But before I got to high school, I never saw physical fights between females. Now, I was bullied, but I don't know. I just think girls are different. They play deep, long psychological warfare that they just wears you down and wears you down. And this went on probably from 3rd grade to 8th grade. Now, from 1st grade to 8th grade, I went to a private school. That means you had to pay money every month to go there. But it was kindergarten through 12th grade, but it was still small. It was out in the country. Don't really know why I went there. But, so you just basically, you had the same students every year. Pretty much. That maybe you get a new kid and they'd go away and, but it was like, so I had these same kids from 1st grade to 8th grade. And once the cliques were set, and so this went on, it was verbal and whatnot. And then this is when I started to get friends with Holly. And then something happened in the 8th grade where she started to get accepted into the clique, the popular things, and I got left alone. She started pulling away, and we didn't even hang out at each other's houses anymore. And it was really hurtful, and the verbal abuse got worse and worse. So it got to the point where, and I didn't know this till like years later when I was in my 20s, that I had a different situation. My parents did know, and they did care, and they wanted to do something. So 3 months before I was done with 8th grade at this private school, they pulled me out. And they stretched the truth about our address so I could go to this public school. This is where, Leanne's mom taught at this school where I went. And so I went from, this private school, and it wasn't exclusive. You could go there if you had the money, but the thing is, it turned out this private school just all white kids. So now I go to a public school, and I have got the melting pot, the culture clash. The only girl that talked to me was a pregnant 16-year-old girl, and I didn't really care. Nobody bothered me in the way that I had been bothered previously, but I was still kind of alone, and I was okay with it. I didn't feel like, maybe that's why I am the way I am today now. Like, I don't feel like I need other people around me all the time to be happy or satisfied or entertained. I've got places in my head I can go. So probably why I don't go to parties. I don't try to hang out, that could be it. But so what I didn't know till I was in my 20s is how much this did affect my parents, my misery, and it bled out into their lives. So once everything was happening at school, but once I got home, everything's fine. I had love. You people, you wish you had my parents. They were that awesome. I still have my dad. But so I'd heard that my brother was physically abused in high school too, because he was so little. He was petite. And I'm assuming maybe my sister was too. I'd have to ask her about that tomorrow maybe. But and then when I got to high school, I was fine my freshman year. I had a little sketchiness in my sophomore year. It was a little... But once I got to my junior year, all the problems went away. Some of the girls that bothered me at the private school ended up at my high school, but it was so big they couldn't touch me now because I was already there. I was established. I'd been there. And I even had one of them that was a huge instigator when we were past like 18 years old, came up to me and apologized the way she treated me. So that was like bizarre. And then I found out a bunch of them went to jail and got pregnant. So that was really satisfying. But girls just do things differently. It's words. And then they just, I think I only felt threatened one time because one of them was dating this bully. And we did go to the principal, and they all called me on the phone to apologize because it was a small enough school where, you could get something done. But shortly after that happened, I left. And I'm telling you what, right after I left, like 3 months after, that school started going downhill. And I don't know if that's a coincidence, but I don't even know if that school still exists anymore. I'd be shocked to find out if it still exists, that private school.
Well, like I said, it was a very traumatic experience for me. Like I said at that time.
Well, yeah. See, I was never in any physical danger that I could think of. So.
And that was middle school. There was actually
that was middle school for me. Yeah.
There was an instance when I was younger, about 8-7 years old, where I was picked on by a bully and he hit me in the face. And eventually what happened was I went and ran home and tell my mother. And my mother and my stepfather at the time took me out there, and I pointed to him, and they said, well, y'all need to settle this right now. And I'm like, what? I don't want to settle this.
You're an instigator or something.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted this gladiator type fight between us, and I'll tell you, I did go ahead and fight this kid, and literally picked him up, threw him on the ground, started beating him up.
That's like that YouTube video. You've seen that video.
But as I'm hovering over him and I could see him crying, I knew I did not want to do this. I did not want to be...
Violence begets violence.
Yes, and so I got up and started to walk away, but, you should never turn your back on people because you never know what's going to happen. And he managed to get me on the ground and started wailing on me and beating me up. I went home, I guess, frustrated, upset, because...
Would your parents just sit there and watch and wait?
Yeah, there was a group of people in the courtyard watching this happen. And, I don't know. I take this, mentality that, if I could just make it through today, then everything's going to be okay. It's a terrible mentality to think. I constantly hope that I make it to the next day. Even today I do that. And it's a shadow that that's over me. I know you go crazy over the type every time I tell you that we can't give up hope. We just got to keep moving forward. And I believe that a lot of me that I tell you that comes from the times that I was hurt so badly in these situations. And maybe in some instances is why, I thirst for, you to talk to me sometimes. And, yeah, I know it's kind of funny, but it's...
No, I'm laughing because of earlier today.
No.
Something you said.
But the thing is that I don't want people to get into a position where you may be bullied at some point, or somebody might attack you for various reasons, but you need to draw on the strengths of knowing that there are people out there that are in the same boat as you are, and that we need to not give up hope that things will work out.
If you're a human being and you're living on this planet, you're going to get hurt in some form or fashion. It's up to you how you're going to deal with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, are you going to respond with, turn the other cheek? Are you going to shoot up a store full of people?
Well, and I think that, well, before we pick up on that note, let's go ahead and take our next break, Surlana.
Oh, it's already 10.
Yeah, it's time to take the next break. Let's see here as I load everything into the computer bank here. It's a great conversation, and I know it sounds like therapy tonight from Spaceboy, but quite frankly, we had this conversation earlier. I'd like to talk to you tonight, and you always hear Surlana do the great research, but I do have something to say every once in a while, and
I'm totally on board with it.
Good, I'm glad you are. So on that magical note, we'll be right back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Indeed we are. Just to let you know that at any point that you might be interested in providing some insight on the conversation, you can always call 713-701-5214, 713-701...
5214.
Thank you. I forgot there for a minute there.
Those churros are so good, huh?
They are quite delicious. And, I don't want everybody to feel bummed out tonight. I just want to have this conversation with you because, I think it's important that you know who's talking to you on the mic. I've always tried to be honest with everybody, and the more honest that I am, leaves no room that, for example, if I'm lying, I have to keep track of all those lies. So what you get is 100% me. I don't know how else, would you say that I'm 100% me behind the mic, Surlana?
You are, yes.
I mean, there are times when, okay, let me just do some over the mic thing. You can go ahead and pick it up, and they can listen until I'm ready to pipe them in. So as you call tonight, just bear with us. You'll be piped in, and the phone will be answered automatically. But just so I can finish my thought, many people have talked to us off the air and know how we are. We are 100% who we are. I don't want to be fake. I want to be me. I don't want to have to pretend to be somebody. Granted, I think there are times when we wear masks to protect our inner feelings when we're sad or on other occasions, and I will be first to tell you that I've been guilty of doing that because I'd rather you see me happy than sad, but I'm not afraid to tell you how I feel. So,
I would like to remain a mystery, a complete enigma and a mystery.
Yes, and that's why we'll never do cartoon pictures of you again. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hi.
Hey, how are you, Bev?
Oh, it's good to hear from you.
Oh, I'm doing a lot better.
Well, good.
Getting better every day.
Well,
awesome.
We want to keep you kicking.
Yeah?
Kicking Bob.
Yeah, kicking Bob in the butt.
Well, my legs don't reach that high.
Well, we could send you a grabber. How
high is his butt off the ground?
And I was going to say the grabber. That would be a whole different story tonight.
That's the gopher.
Gopher?
The gopher grabber.
What is it going for?
Oh, Lord have
Here
mercy.
comes the eye roll.
Here's what I have to live with, people.
So, Bev, you've heard the first half hour of our programming about bullying. Now, you know more than anyone here how I handle bullies now. And back, I wouldn't say the beginning of the show. I think when the show, I guess, was it about a year ago or so? Yeah, and if you don't mind me saying, you were kind of being not necessarily antagonized, but, it wasn't going in your favor. And so I intervened and put the law down and took care of it for you.
Yes, you did.
And that kind of shows you how I feel about bullying. Has there been other instances in your life that you've had to deal with issues like this?
Oh, through school. I was always bullied through school. Always. And it seemed like it was the same people every year.
That's what it was for me, because they didn't ever leave. They all came back. They kept coming back.
Yeah. And my mom and dad would constantly go to the principal's office. Every school I went to, they went to the principal's office. It didn't seem like they were doing anything. And it finally came to the point to where my mom and dad threatened to sue the school system because they weren't doing anything about it. And it subsided after that. I mean, it took them to threaten to sue the school system.
That's a shame.
I know. And what really gets me nowadays is I'd rather see kids, I don't want to see any bullying, but for kids to come to school and shoot schools up, what is up with that?
Well, and it's like I said, I'm not trying to address the gun part of this equation because I personally don't think it's it goes beyond. It's a cause and effect, as I've always said. What brought that young man to want to go to such an extreme?
Or a young woman.
Or a woman in a case like that, maybe, to go to an extreme to create such a destructive behavior. And,
exactly.
Like I said, I've seen many of kids that have been isolated in school for various reasons. And like I said in the previous half hour when I talked about a young man that I knew, that all I did was go up to him and talk to him. And he told me things that, it disturbed me. It bothered me. But I could tell a sense of relief that he was able to talk to somebody, or somebody would actually listen. A peer of his was there to open their ears and take in the pain and the anguish. And, on a different level, I could relate to him in the sense of, being bullied. And granted, I didn't have parents that despised me that much, that abused me, but
so I'm sorry, but your parents seem clueless.
I make no excuses about my parents. My parents were hippies, and maybe my mom married my father when she was 15. And she was a wild child. They couldn't my grandfather couldn't wait to get rid of her out of the house. My mom married 3 times. The third time, I guess, was a charm. Maybe my mom, bless her heart. I'm gonna just say this: I love my mom. I miss her terribly. My mom had good moments, and of course she had bad moments. My mom was bipolar, and so it was I would take the good times when I could and deal with the bad times at when they happen. And my mom never abused me. She could get angry, but she never abused me. So I want to make it clear that I was never abused as a kid. Maybe just going through the emotions of a divorced family and living with my grandparents. And, I always say, and Surlana probably agrees with me on this, is that, what probably saved me was the loving nature of my grandparents. Yes. If they hadn't been a part of my life...
I don't think you'd be the person you are.
I don't think I'd be the person I am. I think my life would have made a different direction altogether. And I don't think it would have been for the best. Without a loving family there to support me.
I got lucky on that.
I think that is a part of the equation. A loving family is important. And when I say family, I want to make sure that you understand is 2 loving parents. That could be a man and a woman. That could be 2 men. That could be 2 women. It doesn't matter. When you have the love and support of a family unit, then that child is going to grow up adjusted. This is not about homosexuality or straight. It's nothing about that. It all has to come down.
Our backgrounds could not be more different.
With love.
Your upbringing and my upbringing.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just from everything I've gone through, I've tried to see the good, despite the evil and the injustice, if you will. And you know how passionate I get about being just.
Yeah, you should have been a superhero.
Or that,
yeah,
or a lawyer. for the right things, and not for wearing a Monty suit.
You told me I should have been a lawyer because I talk in lawyers.
Well, you do. That's a whole other topic altogether. But the thing at the end of the day is that's why I love everybody. I really do love everybody. I tend to wear my heart on the sleeve, and
I'm just we're so opposite. I'm like I'm seething in bitterness quietly.
And I think that that's why I'm good for Surlana.
I don't love everybody at all.
she is. We're like yin and yang kind of thing, and
I'm like, I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna get you if I ever see you in a dark alley.
I'm the same way. I give people the benefit of the doubt, and if you screw me over once, okay, I'll give you another chance, but twice, no. We're done. But I'm just I'm just a loving person.
And the thing is, Bev, I recognize that in you, and that's why I really do.
professes their undying love for you?
Man, I love you. I love you like the
and we're not drunk
like the churros that are right next to me. You're so wonderful. I mean, put this image in your head, Bev. So I'm staring at the churros right now and having this conversation with you. And tell me, who do you think I'm talking to? Bev, you are such a wonderful individual. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of it. And, I don't know when I'm going to, have a break soon enough to confess my love beyond that. I'm sorry.
He's a complete weirdo, isn't he?
I got to put the churros aside. They're hypnotic.
I can smell them from over here.
So, yeah, I'm comparing.
What are churros?
Oh my God, Beth!
I'm not really sure what they're made of, but they're little round cinnamon thingies with some kind of mystery spooge in the middle.
All right, Bev. Do you know what Play-Doh is, right?
Oh yeah.
Hold on, follow me on this, Bev. Okay. So back in the 70s, they used to have the Play-Doh making factory thing where you could put Play-Doh.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you push it down, and out the thing came like stars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I swear to you, this thing is like Play-Doh that's been pushed out like a star and then cut up and fried and cut up into pieces with
rolled in cinnamon.
Rolled in cinnamon, and as Surlana likes to say, with hot spooge in it. And so the thing is that they're quite delicious, and it's a Mexican confectionery delight.
You could go to Jack in the Box and get a little order of churros.
That's if you have a Jack in the Box by you.
And if they carry it.
No
Jack in the Box.
Well, you know what funnel cake is, right?
Oh yeah, I love funnel cake.
Well, it's not funnel cake.
I'm sorry, funnel cake's a little bit better than churros. Because you can put cinnamon in a funnel cake if you want to.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I get them at the fair. I love funnel
that's
cake.
the only reason I'd want to go to a carnival, a fair, or a festival is to get freaking...
The food and drinks.
No, like, load me up with a funnel cake, get us in, give me the funnel cake, load me up, and right back out the exit. I don't even need to be involved in anything else.
So segueing back into this is that we love you like funnel cake. So yeah, it's such a delight to go to the fair, and we have to, when we go to the fair, we can only think of one thing, and that's
funnel cake.
Funnel cake. And you're like our funnel cake. Bob is like the sprinkles. We'll just include him on that. So
did you hear that, Bob? Oh gosh.
But I want to reassure you, Bev, that this is a safe place for you to come to and you talk about whatever. And many of our space cadets
unless she's talking to me and you,
agree that they love you here and enjoy when you call.
Unless it comes a counseling session.
I even enjoy the counseling session.
Well, Bev, we're going to move on.
I love you guys so much, and
we're so glad you're doing better.
You guys so much for your well wishes and prayers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting stronger every day.
We'll keep going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Make Bob take care of you too.
Yeah.
Pull your weight, Bob.
On to me.
He's
on to me.
You married him for a reason.
Yeah, I guess I did. Oh.
All right, Bev. Well, we love you, so we'll talk to you a little bit later.
Okay, I love you guys too so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ooh, hope I didn't cut her off. Sorry.
So
I just typed in funnel cake into Google to see what would happen.
Oh,
it doesn't tell me where to get them.
Funnel cake porn, I guess, over
there?
there?
Wait, best funnel cake in Houston on Yelp.
Okay, so
ooh.
As you're Googling over funnel cake, it was a time when Bev was antagonized in the chat room and we had to block somebody. And, this goes into a conversation I've had before, back right before my mother passed away. Chat rooms were fairly new at the turn of the millennium, which is kind of funny to say that.
Well, no, that's true, right? 2000, right?
Yeah, 2000. And so she was getting into chat rooms to talk to people that had thoracic outlet. And I won't go into depth what thoracic outlet is all about. Just Google it and, you'll find out. But there was groups of people that she could talk to. Well, these people were kind of bullies, if you will. And my mom couldn't type fast enough to save her life, in a sense of responding to the crap that was dealt with her, and it made her depressed. And as I said, my mom was bipolar, so her depressions could reach lows like you couldn't believe, and it really hurt her. And it wasn't much longer after that she passed away, and I felt really sad that my mom could not defend herself. And so when I do see those kind of things, I jump on it. I want people to come to Spaceboy Universe and have a conversation, which leads into social media.
Oh my gosh, how much more difficult would your life and my life had been when we were first through whatever grade if we had also had social media to be bullied on?
I think kids have a hard time. It's kind of like, where can you run to? There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere
to hide.
Place that's safe to hide from these things.
Don't be on social media.
Well, true, but I mean, as kids today, it's difficult, But the thing is that when it we come here, Space Cadets, and hang out together and talk, and meeting of the minds. As I go back, many people that have talked to us, I'll just give an example. Dino knows that we are genuine people. When we talk, we want to talk and understand each other in the meeting of the minds, if you will. We may have different opinions, but at the end of the day, we can agree to disagree and still be friends. And that's what I love about all the people that come and listen to us and get a chance to talk to us and follow us on our social media. However, I do follow quite a few people on social media that have such vitriol when it comes to different things. And this goes all the way back, and this is the limited time I'm going to get political, back to when Bush was at his second term and leaving office, and Obama came in.
Junior? Oh, yeah, Junior.
Obama comes in, and then we deal with that, and now we've got Trump in. It is quite interesting to see the pendulum shift from left to right, and how...
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And how you deal with all these people who can't have a civil conversation about things that we should have civil conversations about.
If you disagree, then you're like fundamentally, morally stupid and inferior, and
right.
that's not true.
No, I mean, like
don't get me started.
Well, I want to talk about this in the sense that it's frustrating to see people so ignorant that. On certain topics on both ends of the spectrum.
Who are your genuine friends.
Mm-hmm. Yes. People you've known for quite a long time.
People who are your relatives, and you're like, when did you get this crazy?
Right. And off the deep end. And I do say everything from Obama to Trump, because I've literally seen this pendulum shift from left to right with the American public.
Saw one today. Somebody you and I know that we like, and they put their opinion on a hot topic, and I'm like, oh, told you. I got halfway through, I'm like, I'm not even going to read this. I'm not even going to finish reading this. I'm just going to scroll on and get past it and not think about it anymore, because I so strongly disagreed. So,
don't get me wrong. I want to hear, like I said, I follow everyone. I listen to all sorts of news so I can get the best scope of everything to hear what people are talking about. And, I want to have conversations with people about various topics, but I do not want to have a conversation with somebody that breaks down to a point, well, your opinion is just so stupid. I just can't deal to talk with you right now. I don't like to deal with people like that.
Were you arguing with Charles Nelson Riley?
All right, Gene, I'll take that.
I made you laugh.
I know. I liked Charles Nelson Riley. He was funny. He was one of my favorite guys back in the 70s. So anyway, so the thing is that as time moves on, it's important that, hey, we can have conversations. I'm still going to be your friend, but don't yell at me and don't challenge me on my opinion just because my opinion differs from you. Just say, okay, we don't agree there, but hey, I still like you.
We have different ideas of how to act like an adult, apparently.
And that's important. It's so important that you, Surlana, mind blowing. You just blew my mind here. I expect that kind of stuff from kids. but we're talking about grown adults.
There's no such thing as emotional maturity anymore. It just like everybody got stunted at like 8th grade, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, well, the whole thing with social media was created for...
social media brings out your inner 8th grader, apparently, your inner 13-year-old, 12-year-old. Like, yeah. Oh, God. That's why I am very careful to not post anything news, hot topic, current stuff. I don't give my opinion on, anything like, the shootings.
Because you're afraid to get stabbed in the back.
Yeah. I mean, if in fact, because there's this whole reading between the lines things get interpreted, you could be misquoted. If you want to know how I think and you're desperate to know my opinion, send me a private message. I'll give you a phone number and we can talk about it on the phone.
Yeah, we've
like
had conversations
an adult.
before.
So, but so I keep my stuff light. Maybe I'll give you the occasional grumble about work, and I'm always mad at SharePoint or something, like that. But even if I'm complaining about work, I try to keep it like neutral, like not about a person, but about a thing.
I think I'm at a point in life when I look at some of that social media stuff and I think it is not worth it. I'm getting old. I don't have time for your BS.
That's why my dad stays off it.
I want to live and have a good time and meet interesting people and talk and have wonderful conversations and I don't have time to deal with that.
I want to be loved without putting any effort into it. That's what I want.
All right. And, so I guess...
Side note real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Just found a place called Churros and Chocolate.
Yeah.
In the Barker Cypress area, and it says they do churros and possibly funnel cakes.
Oh wow, a 2-for-1 special. Where's this at?
It is what's the address? 716 Barker Cypress Road, Cypress, Texas, which is down north
towards Katy. Barker Cypress is okay.
No, I don't think so. Let me click this.
Oh, Barker Cypress North off of 290?
It's above Spencer Road.
You lost me. Because when I think of Spencer, I think of Pasadena.
No, there's a...
Geographical locations.
It's above West Little York.
Okay, so that's like 290.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah. So, as we get close to rounding this bottom hour out, Space Cadets, what say you? I know that many of you are in the chat room. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts, and I'm sure you're full of them. And there's always a number that's open at 713-701-5214, and we'll take calls after the break that's coming up. Oh God, what are you laughing about now?
This is Yelp. Just to be clear, anyone who rates this place as a 1-star needs to be evaluated by a psychologist.
Okay.
Felt strongly about it, apparently. I love Yelp.
All right. So anyway, let's see here as I'm trying to wiggle this thing into place. And that is the computer. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, kids.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe?
SpaceboyUniverse.com.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
You know, the funny thing happened during the break is Surlana said, do we have anything to talk about? And I said, yes, because we are the magical couple known as Spaceboy and Surlana. And aren't we, Surlana?
Yeah, but you never said.
You know, it's been kind of an interesting evening, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
I almost teared up during one of the segments.
That
and
totally freaked me out. Too.
I was like pointing to you, like,
do I have to come over there and hug you? I mean,
you know, if you did, then I would really feel like, why are you hugging me?
I'll pinch you when we finish.
Hey, but you can't take the baby back, my papaya baby.
Oh, you'd have to be on Facebook to see what we're talking about.
So anyway, wonderful pictures on Facebook. If you follow me as a friend, then you understand.
I felt inspired today by I snapped some pictures of you and my purse. Mm-hmm. Had the seasonal changing of the chicken purses because we have gone from winter to spring. So now we've got the spring chicken, which is the yellow chicken.
Just to let you know that those phone numbers are open. That phone number is opened up at 713-701-5214. Feel free to contribute on the topic tonight, Space Cadets. We would love to hear from you.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Surlana.
Sorry. I screwed that up so bad.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to type it, and I typed 713-701-701-70. I'm like, why am I doing that?
Were you caught in an infinite loop?
Yes. The Bucky shirt.
Oh, leave it to Kay to know that Bucky's was involved today.
Well, I took a picture of you in your Bucky shirt, and I'm like, I wonder if people outside of the triangle in Texas has ever seen the back side of a Bucky shirt. So I took a picture of the back of your shirt, which is very controversial. So.
I was surprised. I actually looked halfway decent. From I don't get to
like
see
you don't ever not look decent. I smack you upside the head.
I didn't even comb my hair today, and I still looked banging.
You're a man. You don't have to comb things.
I mean, well, I just had to look good for the Facebook honeys. So.
Funniest dang thing you've ever said.
And I love the fact today we went to KFC today, right? I took a picture. And in the title of the picture, I put, "Hey, Great Britain, look what we have." Too soon? Because if you haven't heard the news, they've been without chicken at their KFCs and had to close them down. And then most recently, they were without gravy, of all things. How can you go without gravy?
It's just things are going from bad to worse down there.
I mean, and
up there, over yonder.
I think there was a case,
the pond.
somebody called... the police over there.
Remember last week we were talking about this? Somebody called 999, which is their 911.
Right.
Looking for chicken for KFC. I'm
looking for chicken.
That's desperate,
in
man.
the wrong places.
I want to. Can I just call that place out? Can I call it out?
What place?
We're at this KFC we're at. Can I call it out?
Oh, if you want to go down that conversation, let's do it.
If you're in the Houston area, this is the KFC located on Memorial Drive between Kirkwood and Derry Ashford.
And for those who are trying to figure out exactly where we live, your bingo chart is getting a little bit smaller.
Well, anyway, this place had ants running around.
Really? I didn't see any ants.
They were sitting next to me, babe. They didn't want to come near you.
What about uncles?
They had little ants running around the ledge of the window I was next to. There was some refuse on the ground, like some dropped napkins, and the lids for the small drinks were non-existent. The employee who took our order was either she was brand new or just totally incompetent.
She was new.
Apparently, my order blew their minds. They didn't know how to key that in the register.
Well, every time we go, you order a la carte kind of situation, or
but surely they have.
It's called a two-piece meal, babe. You just pick out the chickens you want, or parts of the chicken you want, and what do you get? You get the mashed potatoes.
Why can't they extrapolate that information and stick it into something they can understand?
Well, thank God some places have kiosks that you can punch in your order now.
So, I also did not like the photograph of the training area manager. So,
it looked like a glamour shot kind of picture.
It was weird.
Yeah.
So anyway,
by the
y'all
way,
need to get your act together.
That was the lady that came in later?
I think so.
That was her.
I think the one that you and I've been to on Westheimer, toward the west end of Westheimer, was probably the better one we've ever been to. But it's not like we go there often because it's not good for you. And we just get these little cravings.
Well, the reality is,
maybe twice a year.
You make it sound like you had this just tremendous. Okay, first off, aren't you happy we went?
It's okay.
Because you were like, man, I got to have some KFC. I'm just hungry for some KFC kind of. And I took you to KFC.
So I sound like a drunk hobo.
Well, you were tired that day. So, that day. So the thing is that she's throwing stuff at me.
I threw my snotty.
Oh, that was nasty. Anyway, so you got to go to KFC, but you really want to know something. A bad experience is like my trip to Taco Cabana. I went to Taco Cabana during a lunch break. Hey, look.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna.
I had to deal with your snotty rag thrown at me. Well, anyway, so I was on my way back because I went on an IT visit. So I'm on my way back, and I thought, I could really go for some delicious street tacos. So I stopped by Taco Cabana and made my order, and all of a sudden all the registers went down. And I said, hey, does that mean my lunch is free?
You already told the story.
Did I tell the story?
Yes, you did, dear.
Anyway, so fast forward, maybe I guess, my inner goat is just itching to get out. So, long story short, I finally called them, and I'm waiting for a call back. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. This has been the show, because Surlana's ready to go.
No, it's just...
Okay, it's up to you. Put your headphones back on. Stop eating the Chinese food.
Do you see any food? Do you see any food here?
Look.
Bev, can you call back?
Look. Stay focused.
What is it you want?
What topic did you want to talk about?
I learned something I didn't know.
Okay.
The other night watching Drunk History.
Okay, well, let's talk about that.
And I'm embarrassed and ashamed that I don't know this.
Oh, okay. I think it. Go ahead, because it's history related.
I knew about the civil rights issues and the movements. Of course, see, I wasn't born until 72.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there's been struggles in this country. I know who Martin Luther King Jr. is and what he stands for and what he did. But here's something I did not know, and I don't recall ever being taught this in my entire life. But there was a children's civil rights march made up of just children. And I did not know this. This was in Birmingham, Alabama, 1963, when I think the kids had finally had enough of all this bullcrap racism and the segregation. So he had gone, I think, was it Martin Luther King had gone into the communities and the churches and trying to get people to stand up together, and nobody would do it because, we can't risk our jobs and, all this stuff. So the children were like, well, we'll do it. So, May 2nd, 1963, Janice Kelsey was one of thousands of young people who participated in a series of nonviolent demonstrations known as the Children's Crusade in Birmingham, Alabama, first week of May 1963, where the African-American children participated in the civil rights movement. They had gone and seen that their parents' involvement through mass meetings and organized at churches, where they were talking about it, but I guess nothing was really happening there. So they went and they just stood around peacefully, and the goal was to use nonviolent tactics to protest Birmingham's civic and business leaders to agree to desegregate. So what happened was they came and sprayed these kids down with fire hoses that were very powerful. They hit them with police batons and threatened them with police dogs. And there's actual archival photos of dogs, ripping the sleeves off. And it was harsh. There's footage and photographs of this out there. So when the protesters marched on May 5th, 63, they marched to the city jail where many of the young people were being held. And they sang protest songs, and they continued passive nonviolent demonstration. Finally, local officials agreed to meet with the civil rights leaders and hash out a plan to end the protest. So on May 10th of 63, they had an agreement. The city leaders agreed to desegregate businesses and to free all who had been jailed during the demonstrations. So it was a significant victory, but unfortunately some people were harmed, and these people were children.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never, and this is, we're talking as young as 7 and 8 years old, and I was never taught this in my life.
The thing is that, I've read about many of the protests and demonstrations that happened during the time in Alabama. And I'm familiar with Bull Connor, who was related in that situation. But I never knew of the children that got involved. And once again, another thing of history that kind of pisses me off that we were not taught in school. But on that magical note, hey, I think we have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi there.
Hey, Ty.
Ty, we didn't shame you into calling, did we? We hope not.
Surlana did, didn't she? You can go ahead. We're friends, Ty. See, Ty feels like, no, don't put me in the middle of this.
No, I thought I'd phone, and because I haven't phoned in for a long time, and so I'd phone and say hi to you, and thank you, Spaceboy, for sharing your experiences. I know it was tough.
It was, and I admittedly got a little choked up there and had to point to Surlana to help me out. And
I was like a deer in headlights. Like, what?
I guess there's too many I can't even say the word. I'm brain fart. But anyway, there's too many people on the air that cry for attention and to get ratings, and I'm not one of them. I just want to be me and express an opinion. I think you understand that, Ty.
Oh yeah, that's what I like about you too. You guys are genuine. There's no false or fake or anything around you guys. So
I don't know. I might be faking it.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes. It's my prerogative as a woman.
So, on the topic tonight, do you have something you want to contribute or say about it, or, your 2 cents or anything you want to express?
Well, like you, Spaceboy, I lived with my grandmother when I was in high school, and there was a family called the Strouds, and they had three boys that they picked on me, but they never fought with me because they were intimidating me. One day, my uncle came back with a billy club from the United Kingdom, and I brought that out and showed it to them, and they stopped bullying me.
Well,
so I think.
Go ahead.
I think if you confront them, they're really wusses to begin with. If you confront them, because there was 3 of them, there was only 1 of me.
Well, I often think about how bullies are the way they are is that they're overcompensating for their lack of.
See, I don't understand what the motivation is. I mean, like with the girls, I don't know what was so different about me that they had to do this. Maybe because they got away with it. I don't know what the initial motivation was. Let's pick on her until she cracks and just leaves and never comes back. Because I never started anything. I didn't ever talk to them. I wouldn't even look at them. And
I think on that flip coin, I guess society in general look at guys need to be tough and rugged, and if you don't fit, can't deal with a little antagonization, or intimidation or whatever.
I like how you make up your own verbs.
Hey, at this time I get a little discombobulated. I ask for forgiveness.
Nice word.
I get some plus words here, and you should give me.
I got complimented on extrapolated.
So anyway, like I was saying, is that and I don't fit that machismo attitude, and
you're definitely a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, I am. I just don't believe.
You get angry, but you don't go anywhere with it.
Yeah, I just keep it inside, and
don't cry out loud.
But I mean, that's who I am, and I just think the world is better off with more people like myself than with people that are just, bullies, and, I just want to get along with everybody. And
the only bully in my life right now is SharePoint.
Oh, yeah, software bullies. I hate
Software
those.
bullies.
Anyway, back over to you, Ty.
Yeah, I agree totally that we need more people that love and not hate, and that aren't bullies. By the way, I wanted to mention in chat, I'm Yegmegger, and I'm male. so if anybody has any questions, it's answered.
Well, you're finally out there. So, I know that at the beginning when we started seeing Yeg, it was like, Solana was like, who's Yeg? And I said...
No, it's because I saw him on Facebook, too, and I was like, is there a connection here? And I'm like, oh, okay.
And, it's kind of like I respect your identity in that sense, like Spaceboy and Surlana, obviously that's not our real names, that's our Matrix names, but, we all have our masks to wear,
Sure. Yeah, I got my name out of YEG, which is the International Airport calling sign for Edmonton.
Uh-huh.
As YEG. And on Facebook, I play a game called Megapolis, which is a city building game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got Megger from that.
Oh. Now we know, and no one's half the battle.
Yeah,
I just made mine up out of the blue.
Yeah, Solana probably never realized that her name would actually go the distance that it has.
I made up Surlana a long time before I ever met Spaceboy or moved to Texas or any of this. So I've had a long time as an alter ego.
Pre-millennium?
Yeah, probably 98 or earlier.
So 98 is about Spaceboy time creation.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we kind of came into our Matrix names like late 90s. Yeah, and the rest is history. And
I use Ty because my middle name is Tiberius.
Uh-huh.
Now, how cool is that?
That is pretty cool. And
Can't out-cool us now.
And I'm gonna out him on something else too. He's a big time Trek fan.
Well, we were married at the Trek experience, so there.
Oh, see, she's trying to throw it in your face, Ty.
And it doesn't even exist now.
Well, you guys have got to be the biggest Trek fans out there.
Oh, we're definitely Trek nerds to the max.
He is. I don't know if you could qualify me because I have a thing about the original series. I'm like, meh. But
and she hasn't seen the new Discovery series.
I just can't bring myself to get interested in Discovery.
Yeah.
But I did learn something about Nichelle Nichols.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I knew the thing about her was she was going to quit Star Trek because she wanted to go on Broadway.
Yeah.
And she told Gene Roddenberry, "Oh, I'm going to quit." And he's like, "No, just take the weekend. Please think about it. Please stay. Just think about it." And then she went to some gala or thing, and Martin Luther King came and talked to her. Says, "No, you please don't quit. You're such." You're this female icon, role model.
Such an inspiration.
You're the only African-American woman on TV.
You give us hope.
Yeah, that's not in a subservient role. You're an equal. You're being treated as an equal and respected. So she stayed on the show because MLK talked her into it. Well, here's what I didn't know. That she somehow talked to NASA and said, "How come you're only sending the white guys in space?" Or however she put that.
Right.
They said, well, and this is on Drunk History where I learned it. They said, well, why don't you go recruit them? So she actively recruited African Americans and women to NASA.
Sally Ride was one of the women that she got recruited into NASA.
So
and
I did not know that about Nichelle Nichols.
I did not know that either, and I think that's a fascinating piece of history, especially with Trek lore and her connection, and I think that's great.
Yeah, that's really great. She's inspired a lot of women and women of color to come forward and get into the STEM situation.
That's the wonderful thing about Star Trek. It inspired so many people. Growing up to create the technology, a lot of the technology we have today, and then some.
What freaks me out about Star Trek is a lot of the stuff they talk about in there when they're doing their science and tech talk is real. it's based in real theory and real.
Well, Trek was always trying to be cutting edge and to be as close to science reality as it could. I remember reading articles how the show writers and producers would go talk to scientists and NASA and all them to see, hey, what's the latest thing going out there, or what is coming down the pipe, to be kind of ahead of the curve. Kind of like when we go back to the original series, we would see floppy disk. They were using disk to store data, and then things like that, and pads, and
oh yeah, pads.
And so, I mean, as the evolution of Trek went on, so did the evolution of technology, and technology came along that it was like, hey, this is like Star Trek, so. What say you on that, Ty?
And now we've gone we've gone beyond. Not too many people use floppy disks anymore.
No.
In favor of DVDs and mostly thumb drives.
Exactly. Which are like the isolinear chips on the next generation.
We bought a fake isolinear chip in the gift shop.
Mm-hmm. At Quarks,
I don't know what happened to it.
Quarks Bar, or actually, was it Quarks Bar? I mean, there was.
Well, it was behind Quarks Bar,
yeah.
the gift shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a cool place.
It's a shame it's gone. Mm-hmm. Donna asked that in chat if there was any video from our wedding. I said, there is no evidence that we were ever in Vegas.
Donna, there is one picture, and if I ever disclose it, she'll probably blow me out in airlock.
I don't even know where our wedding certificate is.
I do.
Marriage license.
I need. It's the one document I know that you're traveling through time that you can't find as you erase yourself.
Well, we've just been together so long. I never changed my last name legally. We're not even wearing our wedding bands anymore. So it's just like, look, I know we're married. It's fine.
Well, mine
at that point.
Mine doesn't fit because I've lost weight and it falls off.
Well, that's what happened to me. Mine flew off my hand, and I don't know where. Now, our wedding bands are very simple. They're just silver
bands,
flat silver circles, sterling silver. So it's not like we lost a ton of money or value. Or
I like that.
Oops, it's gone.
Well, it's not like we lost a ton of money and it's gone, and so it's not like I really loved you in the first place. So I'm going to leave you at this point and get back to my book on my phone. So go on, peasant. You're bothering me.
That was very revealing, dear.
Well, anger issues. Anyone?
Tell me about it.
Oh my goodness!
It's what you tune in for.
And what worries me, Ty, is that y'all have some mileage on us as far as years together, but Surlana and I have only been together
14 years.
14 years.
Now, Ty, you've been in a relationship so long. Sure, you're devoted, you're committed, you love your significant other, but Ty, be real with me. Are there times when, I just want to put a pillow over his face?
See, how can you say that? First off, Ty would never do that because, one, he's a Canadian foremost.
Oh, my God. I just forgot. I saw this video where this guy was driving too fast, and he, clipped a motorcyclist.
Oh.
The guy got out of his car, ran over the motorcycle, said, "I am so sorry. I was going too fast and I wasn't paying strict attention." He goes, let me call 911, whatever, for you. And the whole thing was so polite. I'm like, this has got to be Canada. This can't be anywhere else but Canada.
and was it?
I don't know. It never said.
I mean, did we hear the trademark oops?
Sorry,
no,
sorry? I don't think so. But it couldn't have. It was English, but it wasn't accented, so I just couldn't believe it was here anywhere.
Ty, we love you as a Canadian and love you as an individual, and Dennis, we love him too. So don't think
Dennis
any of this.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, see, this is what I get. So you embrace Dennis as much as you can, because when the moment is gone and he buries himself into a reader of some kind, don't get me started. Even though, here, let me just do this in your honor. There we go. Did the goat for you. So, but Ty, I just want to say before we let you go that
I don't want to let go.
Sometimes we do. I'm glad that you understand that. The story tonight, and a true story, in fact. And, we want you and definitely Dennis to know that we love you both, and we appreciate the heck out of both of y'all. And we wanted to say thank you for enriching our lives and be a part of our journey here.
Well, thank you very much, Spaceboy and Surlana. We love you both too. Canada loves you,
Woo-hoo!
guys.
We love Canada and bacon too.
Oh yeah, definitely
They have
Canadian
a
bacon.
market cornered on bacon, do they? Okay.
Oh.
It's a different kind of bacon, but it is so good.
Take your word for it.
Yeah, trust me.
And I'm glad you all are feeling better.
Can you tell? Can you tell in our voice?
Well, I've got a weird thing happening, but I won't get into that. So,
Well, you've already finished your Chinese food, so you should be okay. I'll let
I can't win.
I'll
I
let
just
Ty
can't
finish.
win.
I know I'm interrupting. Go ahead, Ty. I'm sorry.
Don't Kanye West him.
Anyway, it's almost time for a break, so I'm going to let you go. And you guys will take care. And like I said, we love you, and hugs and everything else to both of you.
Okay, we appreciate you calling so much, and we look forward to hearing from you again real soon.
And look forward to seeing you on the internet.
Yep.
Okay, we'll see you in chat. You
Okay.
guys take care, right?
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Ty, everyone. And so, as always, we love both of Ty and Dennis, and just wonderful people that we've met on our journey through the universe.
Where
And
is Dennis? I thought I saw him in here earlier.
yeah, he pops in. He's
lurking, I guess.
He's like another person we know very well. Do you know who that other person is?
Yeah, but he's so well behaved.
What, Patrick Sporer?
Oh, I thought we were talking about somebody else.
Oh no, I'm talking about Patrick Sporer.
Well, Patrick's very well behaved too.
Yes, and we'll get an after the show report from him, and it's always I love his emails. I mean, no, I was serious. I do love his emails.
Yeah, I do too. I read them too.
Yeah, so
I just feel bad that I've been so busy I haven't been able to respond to him. But I don't know that he expects replies. But
yeah, he gets them from me. Not as often though, but he does know that
we're out there. We're still reading Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick Sporer. And if you want to know more about the Patrick experience, which is the
precognitive experiment.
Yes,
his
you
blog.
Go to our website. There's a link on our webpage.
Scroll down and you'll see it.
Scroll down and click on it, and just fascinating information you can get from Patrick. So I guess, are you ready for our break?
Oh, wow, it's going fast.
Yeah, it goes fast around here. It's all relative, according to Einstein. And you're listening to Spaceboy Universe, and we'll be back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt. It's Bot versus Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot.
You're terminated.
Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
I'm from another planet. I'm from another planet. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Answer me.
darn fool didn't have his lights on, sir.
Our job is to prevent a possible nationwide panic by keeping the information from the public. I don't know why these saucers always have to wait till nighttime to put in an appearance.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back, and we have one of our favorites, and Space Cadet's favorites, the impressible, the man from another planet himself, Dino. How are you?
Sorry.
Well, hi. After that mess up, I was going to compliment you two on how great and professional you've been sounding tonight.
I had to mess it up for you, sir.
Oh, clearly one of us has been drinking, so.
Well, no, after so many weeks of virus and illness, and you all sounded like you were hacking and going to fall over on the show, and now you're sounding great.
Well, good. We're glad. We're aiming to, we hope we didn't bring down the mood too bad earlier.
And that took forever to get well.
Yeah.
Boy, it took forever.
No, everybody is experiencing that. Even I picked up a little bit of flu right after New Year, which kind of surprised me. I had a break from work for a couple of weeks. I was feeling pretty good, and the weather wasn't that bad, but I picked it up somewhere, and it's killing people. I mentioned that online. Bear's wife, Sir Bear, who doesn't seem to come over much, but his wife, Tony, had kind of flu, and she didn't think she had it that bad, and then when he went to get her wake her up the next morning, she wouldn't wake up, and they had to call an ambulance, and she ended up having pneumonia and was in a coma for a few days. And
wow.
She just got home, too, about 2 days ago, and she's sounding great. She called into another show and lost weight, of course, being in the hospital that long, but she's like full of energy now, so you got to watch out for these viruses. It makes you wonder if they were genetically engineered. But anyway, what I wanted to mention, I'm drinking a very nice glass of wine here. I went to a lecture last night. I love my new area. They've got a library that puts on a couple of times a month night lectures. You have to register for them, but they're free, and they always serve wine. So last night, even though I was tired from work, I hobbled on down at 6 p.m. and got in. It was very crowded, and it was a very brilliant young doctor that's been doing research and wrote a book on testosterone and how it affects men and women. It was interesting to hear the latest research he'd done, but they were serving this great wine, and they had white and red, and I, being Sicilian, I got the red, and it was Pinot Noir, which is not as heavy as the Italian wine I drink. But anyway, I went up afterward because there was a nice couple that I guess were friends of the doctor who were providing the wine for free, and I just he had a very attractive wife, but I wasn't coming on to her. I was going to ask him, but he was busy. And she came over and shook my hand. She was and she said, yeah. And I said, I just want to compliment. I'm half Sicilian, and I like red wine, and I really enjoyed your wine. How much is it retail? And she said $32 a bottle. And, because I was thinking I might buy some. I said, I don't have a job that pays that well. It's kind of out of my price range. So she picked up a bottle. She goes, here, take it. So I'm drinking it tonight, and I'll give them a free prop. It's some Sonoma grapes. They're a small winery. But the wine is called, it's a Pinot Noir, and it's called Fourth Estate, just like our famous press in the United States, the Fourth Estate. And they said, well, we really believe in the institution, so we named the wine. And I'm enjoying a free $32 bottle of wine. I'm not going to drink the whole thing.
I know nothing about wine. I don't know that I've ever had it. Only thing I ever had is a $3 Boone Hill Farm wine from Albertsons. And that was wine coolers, and that's my last foray into wine.
Really? Yeah, you just took me back to when I was a teenager to Mad Dog 2020.
No, I did this in my mid-20s. Yeah. I didn't even get near alcohol till way after I was legal, so.
Yeah, same with me. I really didn't. My mother was pure Italian, and kept trying to get me to drink wine. I really didn't like it. I'm not a big beer guy. I'm never into hard liquor. But by the time I turned about 30, I understood how after a rough day or something, or, if you just want to chill for the evening, it does kind of, it's mellow. And being that I used to have asthma when I was a kid, I can't smoke a lot of the legal marijuana, so it puts on a mellow tinge if you don't do more than 2 glasses. But anyhow, it's very good. All you need to know about wine, if it's from Sonoma, it's usually good, and it tastes good. It tastes better than Boone's Farm, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I'm sure, but the cheap stuff. Like, we were in Walmart, because that's our life now, and I saw this Jose Cuervo strawberry margarita mix. I was like, oh, that sounds wonderful. Of course, you have to go get the tequila somewhere else, but we didn't do it. But I was like, if you're going to drink, don't be a wuss about it. Get the hard stuff.
She was looking like Indiana Jones in the first movie, The Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he's about to take the idol off the statue thing. And, she was kind of rubbing her chin like, should I grab that bottle? I can grab it quick before everything falls apart. That's how she was looking.
I walked away.
Well, I want to tell you, maybe it's just the glass of wine that I'm having or the cold weather, but I had a good shower tonight, and I look really good right now. My hair is a perfect length. I shaved. I'm clean. I don't smell. I should really have some woman over here. But
and just for $29.95, you can buy Spaceboys How to Look Good and Feel Good and Talk the Language. That's right, $29.95 at a store near you.
With Ford by Dino.
Yeah, but it starts with a $32 bottle of wine.
Because the lower stuff only gives you, rose-colored glasses?
And a headache.
And a headache, yes.
And I want to warn all the space cadets, always put a little bit of filtered water in your wine. You won't have headaches the next morning.
Oh, wow.
I told that years ago. That is true. The Romans even did that. People think the Romans were drinking it straight. Now, you don't have a lot of Italians that are from Italy that are alcoholics. They know how to do it in moderation. You put a little water in the wine, and it takes the edge off. And some people don't like doing that, but I'm telling you, you feel better the next day. And if you're eating wine with food like I tend to do, it goes down better. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, what I wanted to talk about, I've had a burr under my blanket that I'm all excited about. I have to, I called up, was that over a year ago when Chris Carter decided to bring back 5 X-File episodes.
Right.
And 2 of them were okay, and the others sucked, and he was live on somebody's show, another show, unfortunately, and I phoned in and got to talk to him, and I said, man, you messed up, I usually don't scream at guests, but I just said, what'd you do? I said, he goes, well, when they're coming back we're thinking of doing a season 11, so I told him, I said, all you have to do is listen to some of these internet shows if you need scripts, and that's what he's done. I have enjoyed just about every episode. They've got, 3 more left to go, but the one that aired on Fox this Wednesday, I have to compliment Chris Carter. All I can say, I won't ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it. Go to Fox.com, or maybe YouTube has copied it now. but it doesn't have a whole lot of dialogue, and mostly the only two people on it are Mulder and Scully. And like a lot of these X-File episodes, you must watch the prologue to understand what's going to unfold for the next 50 minutes.
Right.
And the prologue to this I will describe. It starts out, it's nighttime, Mulder and Scully are in a sushi restaurant. Have you seen it yet, you guys?
I have not seen it yet.
I don't
Well,
really watch it, sorry.
Well, you must watch this one because it's pertinent to what we talk about on shows like yours. And anyway, they're in a sushi restaurant, and there's not a soul in the restaurant by them, and it's a very Japanese, very clean-cut style, all hard surfaces with bright light, not bright lights, but colored lights, and the booths are all empty, but everything is modern. And so they're looking at each other, and they're smiling. They're on a date, it looks like. And so they look at the little counter they're sitting at, and a little screen pops up, and it says on the screen, make your choice, So they've got little pictures of all the little sushi dishes. So Scully presses a button, and the little robot voice goes, yum, and then her order proceeds, and Mulder is sitting at the other seat next to her on the counter, and his screen comes up, and he's sitting there thinking, so he picks another fish dish. So it goes, yum, and then, so then a little slot lights up, and it says, put in your credit card, So he puts in the credit card, and they're waiting for their order, and the order comes, ding, and then a little tray, it comes on a little tray automatically, and it pops up, and Scully looks at hers, it's a nice, some kind of rolls, and she eats it, and she smiles, and then Mulder's dish comes out, and it's like a whole fish, some little kind of, I don't know much about sushi, but it's a whole fish with some rice, and he looks at it, and she kind of laughs, so he takes a selfie with his cell phone of him next to the fish. And so he doesn't really want the fish head, So he looks around, and there's nobody in the place. So he picks up the little tray, and he walks around the side of the counter, and there's a couple of doors, look like swinging doors, like they lead to a kitchen. So he pushes through, and he goes in there, and there's like robots back there. These two little carts that are hauling raw fish, and there's like a robot up at the counter. It's just robot arms that's making the sushi, right?
Yeah.
So he looks, and the two robots on the floor and the robot, they all stop and kind of look in his direction, I guess. They don't have eyes, and they all kind of freeze. And he's sitting there with a screen, and he looks up and down, and it's a kitchen, but there's not a human in sight. So he goes back out front, kind of shrugs his shoulders. So the credit card says, okay, pay for your order. And then it says, a screen pops up and says, do you want to tip your server? And there's a button that says $2, $6, and one that says no thanks. So he goes, he didn't get the order he wanted, so he hits the no thanks. And it goes, and goes. And he tries to pull out his credit card. It won't come out. It's stuck in the lighted slot, and he's pulling on it, so he gives up on it. So Scully and him go to the front of the restaurant. It's getting ready to rain, I think. And then here comes like an Uber-style car. There's the car that they ordered on their cell phone, and the door pops open. Hi, I'm your automated, it's a self-driving car.
Right.
So Scully gets in, and Mulder's about to get in, and the door slams. So he kind of shrugs. He doesn't have his credit card and all, and so the robot car asks her where she wants to go, and that's as far as I'll take it. But I want to tell you, the entire episode is about AI, and you must watch it because it's serious, but it's also funny because it's true what's happening, and everybody must watch, even if they're not into X-Files. You've got to watch this episode.
So what you're saying is it's a good standalone episode.
Oh, I was cracking up. Exactly. I was yelling at my screen. I mean, there have been one or two that I have since it started, and there's only 3 left, and they're doing a wonderful job of tying in some of the loose stories. I mean, I loved 2 weeks ago when they even brought back one of the lone gunmen, Langley,
Yeah.
And even if it was, but anyway, so I recommend people watch season 11. It's just great. And this one with, I forget the title of it. I don't know if it's called AI, but the entire episode is about AI, and you've got to watch it because it's scary and funny at the same time.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind because sometimes I'll let a few shows go by, so I get the benefit of watching like a double episode at one time. You know, kind of saving my cake and eating it too.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing. So anyhow, I wish more people would have watched this episode because, I mean, I'm just going on about it. It was cracking me up, and it was like, I said online, I even went to the Fox website, I said, this was a great episode, but it's funny, but because it's true, it's coming true, you know. So you got to watch it. It's got a lot of soft humor to it. You have to watch
I would love to be
everything.
dealing with robots instead of real people.
Oh, no, not after you watch this episode. That's all I'll say about it. But, I mean, yeah, have you watched any of the X-Files episodes, Space?
I have, and like I said, I'm a little bit behind because I shifted gears and went into binge-watching mode on some other things. Of all things, I got to start I guess my binge-watching again was I broke down and watched Harry Potter, all the movies. And so I've watched all those, and I'm waiting to watch the, I guess, incredible something beast that you can find kind of movie. I can't remember the name.
Magnificent Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Thank you very much. Like I said, it's late at night.
Things I know that you don't.
and you know, but anyway,
and I'm not even interested.
But I mean, yeah, X-Files, Gillian Anderson. Yes, I've enjoyed watching her lately. It's quite a treat.
So you have watched some of the season 11 episodes here, and no, I don't care. One of my woman friends said, "Oh, I'm sure she's had work done." I don't care. I mean, she looks better than she did 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And the only complaint I had about Wednesday night's episode, she's now cut her hair a little shorter. She was wearing it longer, and it's it doesn't look bad, but for me, for her face, and I like the longer hair. It's above the shoulder now. But
yeah, it's above the shoulders, and compared to where it was before, where it was kind of like.
This is a conversation that's actually happening between two grown men.
What?
I was at a lecture last night for testosterone. That's what it's about. That's what drives us.
I know there were many back in the 90s that had a love affair of Scully, and it's just brings back that romance to some people that hey, there she is again. So.
Well, Space, did you see that the episode a couple episodes back where it had the lone gunman where they went in and they found what's his name's computer, and he had a file with pictures of Scully. She kind of looked,
Right, exactly.
Yeah, Hot File. What it had some funny name. It said Scully Hot or something. So that was. I mean, I'll have to hand it to Chris Carter. I mean, this season he did it. I wish he would continue another one, but maybe not. Maybe he'll end it up real well. I've read in the mags, the rags, that Gillian Anderson playing Scully doesn't want to do another episode. But come on, her career is not that happening. If they can come up with continue these scripts, I think they ought to go and do another series.
Well, if they're up to it, why not? I mean, is David Duchovny still doing Californication?
No, that ended a couple of years ago.
Both of them got nothing better to do.
It's not. It's people still love him after all these years, and it's been great having them. It's like an old pair of shoes that once you put back on, you haven't worn for in a while, and they're just so dang comfortable, even though they might have holes in them. It's this resurgence of 90s shows coming back that the experience. We've been there with 80 revival stuff, and so. Sure. But X-Files has been very nice. It's been cool, and it's popular.
And they did it with the original Star Trek too. They started making those movies, and I don't know about this, but I think the women still find Duchovny hot. He's always been a very popular actor. Women are very hot.
No.
Okay.
No, you don't find him attractive. A lot of women do. I know.
Surlana is not like most women. I don't even know a guy that she's attracted to, and I question him sometimes myself. But
I have a crush on this gay guy. From TV.
Well, you married a spaceman.
Now I'm trying to figure out who you're talking about.
We were watching the new series of Queer Eye.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
his name's Anthony.
Anthony.
Oh, okay. Well, there's something about that.
Yeah, why not?
I guess you can.
I mean, he's attractive. Although, what's his name's growing on me? I can't think of his name.
With long hair?
Yes.
Jonathan?
Yes, I like Jonathan.
They all need powerful hugs from me. I think that's what they need.
Well, I'll tell you, growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area, it just seemed to me that, at least in our area there, a lot of women got along just fine with gay men. It's like they were like their best girlfriends. I don't know. It just they would come up. I'd see women stand up for a gay guy over you. They'll fight for him. If they're girlfriends. But I don't know. Duchovny, I do know a lot of women that have found him hot through the years.
Yeah, I don't know. I have heard some people other than Surlana have found him attractive and easy on the eyes.
There's no accountant for taste.
Well, they say he's aging well for whatever look he has. I mean, there are all these different looks. I've never been a pretty boy myself, but
maybe his nose is.
Well, there's a type. Well, I don't know what it is. He's got all his hair. I mean.
Okay, Dana, that makes me sad when you say that.
Yeah, well, me too. But I compensate. I overcompensate. I've been wearing my hair longer the last couple of years. I had gotten to a point. I had a woman that cut my hair pretty regularly at my old place, and she had me. I have curly hair, but she had it real even. I said, as long as you make it even, and I look like a nice Italian boy in Italy, but I was balding on top, but now I've been growing it longer, and it doesn't look bad. I got a guy that cuts it now, and I tell him just keep it longer in the back. And I used to laugh at guys that had long hair and were balding on top, but it doesn't look bad on me. I mean, it looks bad if people say, "Oh, just shave it." Hey, the Dino does not look good without his curls. A bald head. I'm no Patrick Stewart.
Dino, I was going to say, I thought about you the other day and some of our other space cadets because I watched this documentary on Netflix about the power of water in California. I guess, you have they rerouted a lot of the water back in, I can't remember the time period. It reminds me of the movie China. Now I can't think of the name of the movie. China with Jack Nicholson. I was going to do a Jack Nicholson imitation.
Oh,
Chinatown. And the rerouting of water and things. And I think it was the Paramount Water Company or something. I wish I'd been more prepared, but how they're using like the underwater reservoir as a banking system of saving water for quote unquote rainy days, and there are people that live right in there that have to bring in their own bottled water, and they're routing a lot of this water too for the major cities, like Los Angeles, and I'm not sure about not Los Angeles, but San Francisco didn't come up, but in the conversation, but. How are you familiar with the water situation in California? Because the way it's described is just a lot of these people came up unscrupulous and just and it's sad because I know that y'all have dealt with many droughts and the way things have been lately.
Yeah, I do know a bit about it. I mean, in the days before the 20th century, in the late 1800s, there were several springs and there were companies that would deliver water. One was Spring Mountain Company, which I don't know if it's still operating, but they still have a spring out in the Hunters Point area, which used to have a naval shipyard, and it was considered kind of a bad area for many years after World War II. But it actually was spring water that was real, and they bottled it and delivered it, to your water cooler. On another note, yes, they built. This was. Governor Brown now. Governor Brown's father was governor back in the 50s.
Right.
And he was one of the ones that really built up the Northern California dam system, like the Oroville Dam. Yeah. And the whole thing was, though, is Southern California gets some water from the Colorado River and on. People are angry about them taking that water, and of course it's the most populous area of the state, but it's the driest. And they've been taking some of the Northern California water. Mm-hmm. And also farmers in the Central Valley, the San Joaquin Valley, are very upset because, that's one of the biggest industries in the world there for agriculture, and they need their water. And then also there's the environmentalist thing. The fish, and the salmon have been depleted, and they're trying to get enough water bring back some wild salmon runs. So all these things are tugging at each other. The population of the state's so big, and so the latest Governor Brown, which I'm surprised, he's quite an environmentalist, but he's trying to be visionary, and he's in his 70s, but he thinks California is going to need more water, and he was going to put 2 new water tunnel canals down to Southern California, and people are very upset. So now, because of political pressure, he's only talking about building 1. But yeah, it's Southern California's got to worry. The only way I see out of it, but we have the technology, is the desalinization, which they're really going full steam ahead with in the Arabic countries. I really think they need to do that. This is crazy, moving so much water from Northern California, even though, in the winter it can get pretty hairy. You saw what happened to the Orville Dam last year. They never thought it would get that bad, and they never finished the second spillway, which is why it had almost failure. Mm-hmm. And they're working on that nonstop now. They were working all last summer. They say they're on track. We'll see how after this weekend of rains that we've had, how it holds up. But yeah, is that what you wanted to talk about? That's the big battle, North versus South. And for years, and some people are talking about it again, about splitting, California and Southern California into 2 states, because so many times their needs and desires are so different.
Right. That documentary I was talking about is called Water and Power, a California Heist. California residents and farmers face powerful barons in the struggle to secure water rights in the fresh historical account of profit and interest. It's on Netflix, so I encourage everybody that has Netflix to check it out, because as I watched it just like, I'm watching this from the comfort of Texas, much different from California, and it made me mad as Hades. What is going on out there, and considering the droughts and everything that's going on, and I really feel for you guys out there, and it's the greed of a few individuals and how they're trying to go through all this process and taking people's monies. It's just unreal. Hey, Dino, we're at the bottom of the hour. I don't mean to cut you off, but we got to take our break. Do you want to say anything else before we wrap it up and go there?
Well, no, just to be aware that San Francisco has the fresh water. It's some of the cleanest in the world, but, everybody's trying to siphon it off, Mm-hmm. All right, well, it's been great talking to you, and I'll be next week, I guess we're going to be kind of hush-hush, but when that comes, another big guest that no one else has had for a while. Yes,
a guest is coming down the pipe, and we want to thank Dino for pointing us in that direction. That's why we have such great space cadets here on the universe. People like Dino, Solaris Blue Raven, always giving us some great recommendations. And there's been some others that we're still hunting down, but yeah, next week guest is brought to you by Dino. So we appreciate you, Dino.
And he hung up.
All right. I guess I wasn't that important. I still love Dino, even though he likes to hang up. But I think what it is, he's a professional, and he knows how to segue into what we call our next break. So here goes nothing.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Alrighty then. We are back. And man, it has been an interesting night. What did you say, Surlana? Hello,
yes,
Surlana.
I mean,
I'm talking to you.
I don't know if I called it interesting.
Well, I like to think that Dina was onto something. It's been upbeat. We've been on target. I was going to say earlier, Surlana has her tailbone issue, but I'm doing better vocally. But it seems like I've gone from the smuts that I had on January, and now I've pulled a muscle in my arm, and that's my issue now. So it's kind of like the warranty is up, and there's no going back to childhood. So I'm dealing with the thing with my muscle, but I'm going to take some Advil for that, I got to get you some Advil. Yeah. Oh, thank you. But anyway, don't worry about me. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is, I've never left you. So, Surlana, you had something that tickled your fancy during the break?
I just saw this link. It said, Black Panther fans keep bothering the people of Wakanda, Illinois.
Okay.
And that's spelled W-A-U-C-O-N-D-A.
I guess because of the naming convention?
Yes. Residents of a small American village have been left baffled and bemused by prank calls from people claiming to have discovered the home of the superhero Black Panther. Wakanda, spelled W-A-K-A-N-D-A, is the fictional African country in the Black Panther movie and the Marvel universe. Mm-hmm. But there is actually a Wakanda, Illinois. So it's pronounced the same way. It was... They said this place is best known for its swampy bog and an annual 2-day rodeo, but since the Black Panther movie came out, that movie has taken $500 million at the box office, by the way. Oh. Fans have been calling up to ask where they can get their hands on some vibranium. And one of these residents, it was the assistant to the mayor of Wakanda, Illinois, said first she thought, is there a full moon out? Because it's a bunch of crazies. And she hasn't seen the film yet, but she keeps getting calls. Someone called and asked how we pronounce the village name, and I told him, and he began yelling Wakanda Forever, which I'm guessing is from the film. And she spoke to the Chicago Sun-Times and said that she was a little confused. First time someone phoned and hollered the Wakanda battle cry at her over the phone. He was joking around about it, but he just said, I was searching Wakanda from the movie and your village came up, so I thought I'd call you and give you a hard time. So a principal of a local high school told the office there had been requests to change the school mascot from a bulldog to a Black Panther. Interesting. And a Wikipedia editor updated the online encyclopedia to include King T'Challa as among the list of famous local residents of Illinois. So... This is what Wakanda may not be, a hidden kingdom, but it has Hollywood connections, and it's part of a climactic chase scene for the 1980 comedy The Blues Brothers. They had a chase scene filmed in their village. Oh, okay. I thought that was funny. Yeah. Fascinating how people get worked up over things like that, and, I think they were just amused. I don't think they were upset or anything. Getting worked up... Let me ask you this. I know that you're not into deep diving into water. What? But like literally going into water and snorkel. I don't know. I don't mess with that stuff. I can't swim, and I don't want to take chances. So. Yeah, so I understand. But say you did, right? Mm-hmm. And you decided to dive deep into whatever, let me just put. Do you remember the movie Friday the 13th? Jason never saw it. Never saw any of those.
You don't remember any Jason movies?
I never saw any of them.
Hockey Mask.
I'm familiar with the character, but I've never sat down and watched the movie. So you're familiar with the look of the character, correct? Yes, dear. So basically, you have the guy that looked like, I guess, in a hockey mask. Pretty scary. So what somebody has done, somebody has put a statue at the bottom of the Minnesota Lake for divers to find of Jason Voorhees. That's his name, Jason.
And so I can only imagine, you get down to the bottom of the ocean, and holy smokes, it's Jason. And I just would probably, I guess it wouldn't matter if I urinated my pants because it'd just go into the water. But so I think that's pretty freaky. I've seen some of the pictures that's out there, and I would not go diving after that because supposedly he died in the lake.
He came back to life.
And he came back to life, but still, could you imagine going to the bottom? I know that this guy did it for giggles, but it looks pretty freaky and scary. So I wouldn't go diving.
Congratulations, Stacy.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad. Is she in the chat room?
Yes, just showed up.
My sister's youngest just got married today, and so congratulations. Won't be long before you're a grandmother. So
couldn't happen to a nicer person.
Yeah, my youngest niece Sky just got married to a gentleman who's in the service, and I guess they couldn't wait, so they got married. They had to fly to Kentucky. That's where his family is based out of, and where he's originally from, and so I'm sure it was an exciting day for Stacy to go see her youngest get married, and it won't be long. But I said before, she's a grandmother, and I'll make her feel old for that.
I'm gonna laugh at her.
Oh yeah, see, you're gonna laugh at her. See, that's my job as her older brother. So
well, I'm tangentially involved, so I'll laugh at her too.
But it's awesome. I'm wondering, Stacy, if you're still listening, are you chatting from Kentucky, or did you already get the flight and you're back home?
She said she was.
Because I was just checking in with you to make sure everything was okay. I saw pictures of her earlier. I guess they had matching dresses. Bailey, which is
that's usually what happens in a wedding. Yeah, they match.
Bailey
dresses.
is the older kid that my older niece and.
When's the last time you went to a wedding? It was ours. It was ours, wasn't it?
I'm glad you brought that up. The last wedding I went to was ours.
Ours.
When we went to, when I was a kid, I went to a lot of weddings. I mean, people.
Well, you didn't have a choice.
But no, I was not. Hear me out on this.
They drug
right?
you to them.
I went to weddings and the receptions. So the best thing was the receptions because why? Free food, free soda. I got to dance, cake, yes, all that stuff. I enjoyed those things. That was fun, and I had a good time. And when talking about that, girls my age at that time about between.
You went to more interesting weddings than I did.
I guess around 12 to 13. They were like, I don't want to dance. It's just, I'm so embarrassed. And I would go up to the ladies that were like 4 times my age and. Dance with them, and they loved it because
I've only been to 4 weddings in my life.
And how many funerals?
5 weddings. Wait, there's a.
Okay, you beatboxing the microphone there.
5 weddings.
All right.
Are you there, caller? You startled me, caller.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I could tell. Hold on. I could tell by the country sound in someone's voice. This is the lovely Stacy.
This is Bailey.
Oh, Bailey. Oh, my God.
You're close.
I was close. You sound so much like your mother. Maybe a younger version of your mother. But don't tell her.
Weird. She raised me.
So how are you, Bailey?
Good. We're just chilling in Nashville. We just got done with our dinner from the wedding.
Oh, cool.
Just calling in to let you guys know that went pretty good.
Good. Well, everybody, this is my niece, Bailey. So I've been following you. You jet-setted off to New York recently. Tell me, is this the first time you've been to New York?
Yeah, I had never been before. It was amazing.
So how was the experience? I mean, what did you do? Did you go to some of the tourist traps, or did you go to, what are the millennials doing these days?
So my husband went for work, so for the first 3 days I was actually by myself, and that was the coolest because he's pretty slow. He takes like 6 hours to look at one thing.
Right.
So it's cool for me to be able to go like at my natural quick pace to just do every single thing that I wanted.
Right.
Yeah, just anything and everything that I could fit in 3 days, I did it.
That's awesome. And I want to say right off the bat, he is a snappy dresser.
Well, he dresses people for a living, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has got it going on, and it's like I was saying in one of your posts. I said he's a keeper, Bailey. You definitely scored a good husband.
And he picks out my clothes. If he didn't, I would wear like 30 prints in one day. I just wear all of my favorite things and call it a day.
Well, it's good that you have somebody to keep you fashion forward.
Yes, it is. And I wanted to say something about something that you said. You said that whenever Mom gets a grandbaby, she's going to be old. That'll make you a great uncle, though.
Well, I've always been a great uncle, right?
It doesn't bother him at all.
I mean, come on, Bailey. You know your Uncle Jim has always been your great uncle.
The best.
Yeah. So, I've got you on the phone because it's important. I talked about you in a previous episode where we were talking about women in STEM and making, opportunities in math, science, technology, so on. You can, yeah. So, I would have to say that as you were a young girl, did I empower you as a young girl to always ask the question why?
Yeah, absolutely, and I still do to this day.
Do you think that, and I hate to put you on the spot because that's what I like to do with my family, is that, do you feel
no
like...
one's listening, don't worry.
I guess what I'm getting at is, I always treated you in a sense of, if you don't know the answers, ask, or did I kind of like... I guess what I'm looking for, did I try to dumb it down to you or try to make it sound like you only had one thing you could do and it'd be a housewife?
No, I think that you always made me think as hard as possible about not only why, but what are the multiple outcomes that could come from this? Why would those outcomes be? What would be the benefit of this thing? What would be the negative of these things? And that kind of deductive reasoning I've taken with me always.
Well, I want you to know, Bailey, that I've always loved you, and I've always been proud of you. And as I've said in a conversation with your mom, and we've teared up with each other about it, is that you have far exceeded what I could have hoped that you would have grown up to be. I'm very proud of you, and I'm just so happy, and I will be the greatest great uncle when you have your first kid, and and I just wanted you to know that I love you to death.
Thank you. I love you. And I miss you guys. We need to come see you soon.
Oh, yes, definitely. And it'll happen. Thanksgiving's been a while, and we shouldn't have to wait for another holiday.
No, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love you. And, just remember that Uncle Jim is always thinking about you.
Thank you. I love you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
You too, Sherilyn.
That's okay. I understand. We don't know each other that well.
I still love you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. I'm going to let you guys go. But
okay.
I'm happy to be listening tonight.
Oh, great.
Great.
We're excited you're listening, too. So
family's always good to have.
Family is good and supportive. So give Sky a big hug for us when you see her next time, and tell her congratulations, and Uncle Jim loves her, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I will.
Okay. Bye, dear.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.
To say, Bailey and Sky, by the way, are absolutely gorgeous young women. Oh, my God. They're like supermodel gorgeous.
Yeah. They are very attractive. And I think, all my nieces are that way.
And you can't be bitter about it because they're also lovely people. So
in the near future, we're going to introduce you to Laramie, which is my other sister's daughter. And she is quite a singer, and it's kind of a music night. We'll be bringing her on.
She's musically gifted, like you.
I can't really talk about something that she's had going on, but
it'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting, a conversation that we'll have at that time.
Waiting for the time to be right for her.
Exactly, and but yeah, Bailey. There was a time when I lived with my sister, and I had an opportunity to be part of raising Bailey from living with them, and I always try to install ideas and concepts that would empower her later on in life, and it's just really nice to see her grow up and see those things in motions, and I couldn't be a more prouder uncle when it comes to Bailey, and all my nieces, but I got to spend time with Bailey more than the other ones, and
you have 4 nieces?
I have 4 nieces, and so Bailey is just a special person when it comes to
I've
that.
got relatives I don't even know or ever met on my dad's side because there's so many.
Yeah. So congratulations, Sky. Now you're married. Hopefully your husband doesn't start reading the book and while you're struggling to talk to him.
Yeah, someday you'll want to put a pillow over his face just because, you'll get to that point in your relationship.
It doesn't mean love unless it's 150 count.
Oh, that's adorable.
Oh, see? I can even bring death with a comedy.
That's a low count, though. That's kind of a scratchy.
Well,
count.
nothing but the scratchiness for my face.
The higher the thread count, the softer the sheet, but the tighter the weave, and it doesn't breathe.
Oh, I see.
So remember that little rhyme.
Well, I figured you were going to use a combination of scratching my face.
So you're going to get sweatier.
Oh, I see. At least I'll be glistening.
That's the polite way of saying sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Perspiring.
So we're getting close here, Surlana. We got the last few minutes of.
Did you hear that they're going to reboot Logan's Run?
Yeah, I have heard that. I don't know how to take it. And
I never saw the original, although I kind of wish I had. I know I could.
The original had Farrah Fawcett in it.
That guy, whoever the main dude is, he was interesting looking.
From the original?
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. I know he's been in quite a few things. And,
yeah.
But, I thought the original was interesting. I don't know how to take the remake on something like that, how they'll go with it. Are they turning it into a TV show or another movie?
If I click this thing's going to get angry at me, isn't it?
Well,
no?
I got your back.
No, hold on.
Don't you worry about a thing.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Warner Brothers reboots Alive Again with the Hunger Games writer Peter Craig is going to rewrite the script, so I'm guessing it's a film. Reportedly flipped the gender lead of the role from male to female.
Oh.
And it would spawn a Hunger Games-like franchise.
Another one of those flip the gender things.
The original was released in 1976, so I'd only been 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'd been 6.
I'd have been 4 years old, so I would have, Michael York was his name.
That's it, Michael York. I'm trying to think of what else he's been. Oh, he was in Austin Powers.
So this is where they kill you when you turn 30?
Yes.
That one?
Yes. And they break out of the complex and they find this old man and they're freaking out what are you? I'm me. What you talking about, man?
That's what he said. What you talking about?
Well,
man?
I mean, the guy had long beard and he looked like a hippie. Is like, man, what are you talking about?
You should write scripts for Hollywood. What are you talking about, man?
Actually, that sounds like maybe
Lebowski or something.
How it should have ended, but do it in the
Oh, this is kind of sad. MASH star David Ogden Stiers passes away at 75. He was in an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Right. It's sad, to hear that.
So, yeah, that's kind of sad. I remember watching MASH with him and everything.
Okay, so I don't know about you, but I am ready for Ready Player One to get its groove on.
I'm ready for it, so you'll stop talking about it.
You just showed me a thing on the interwebs there that the Ready Player One site now has arcade games, classic
arcade games.
Joust has Sinistar, Run, Coward. Just a small little helping of some games that you could play right now by going to the Ready Player One. Even the Funko Pops are out there, ladies and gentlemen. I like collecting them and giving them away. They've got characters from the movie that are already out there for you to purchase. And I like Funko Pops because they're usually around $10 a piece to buy. And I am just so ready for this movie because I got a chance to read the book. And I love it. I know there's going to be some slight differences because you know how you go from book to a movie kind of thing. But from what I've seen the clips of the movies, it looks pretty awesome. And then plus the 80s nostalgia factor.
It's like they know us, don't they?
Yeah, so that is just around the corner. And, of course, speaking around the corner, you've got the Avengers coming up.
Strange release in April, of all things, for Infinity Wars.
Well, the reason they're doing it is they didn't want to, because it's owned by Disney.
Like everything else.
Like everything is, because you've got that coming out. It was about the same time that the Han Solo movie was going to come out, so I guess they're trying to maximize the new Han Solo movie that's coming out, which I've seen clips of that, and that actually looks halfway decent for all the bad mouthing that it's gotten. It looks halfway decent. I'm not excited by the guy who's playing Han Solo, but overall the movie looks pretty intense, and so I'll give it a chance and go from there. And then of course this summer you got the Ready Player One, you got the Deadpool, you got the Oy Flavin. I know we're definitely looking for Deadpool. You just said, I'm definitely going to that.
Yeah, this is the only movie I will drag you by the ankles to go see. Everything else I don't care about.
Mm-hmm. So, just tons of movies coming out that I can't wait to see. And then, of course, I'm really looking forward to next week. We're finally going to submit our taxes. Man, I can't wait to get that monkey off our back.
Well, real quick, time is really running out. So next week, next Saturday, on March the 10th, we will have a guest. The guest is going to be Clark McClelland. He and his whole family has been in the space program since before there was a space program. So that will not be a dull evening. So make sure you come back for that. And don't forget, March 9th is National Meatball Day. So
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
Yeah. And somebody touch my spaghetti.
Get away from my spaghetti goat.
Spaghetti. What is wrong with you?
I'm just having a good time tonight, and I hope the Space Cadets are feeling the vibes, because it's been good. I've enjoyed tonight's programming. I've had a chance to chit chat with the Space Cadets, and hopefully we've all learned a little something that I love you, man. I love you.
Yeah, it's been a big, weird love fest tonight.
It is. And thanks.
It's kind of a strange, uncomfortable way.
Thanks for everybody calling tonight. It's always nice when people call in. And, for those who are listening without chiming in, Patrick, we're waiting for your email after the show. So, but other than that, I guess that's it, Surlana. So, join us next week, my friends, when we'll get another dose of the universe. Good night.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Social media producer is Dennis Koch. Associate producer is Lee Ann Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Lee Ann K, K28, Mark S, and Bob N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.